looking forward to your company on Fox Footy tomorrow night. Looking forward to your company here for the rest of this afternoon. Spot in the 8 up for grabs for the Saints. That's the bottom line. There's a few suggesting that the Saints might be on the slide, but they can establish 8th, 7th, a few other spots above them that might even be up for grabs. They get a little winning run going, but I think that man's just taking it 1 week at a time.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, Dwayno. A fascinating weekend of football to this point as we get the first game Sunday afternoon underway, and the Saints still find themselves in the 8 as it currently stands, with an opportunity to seek their way up and cement themselves in the bottom 4 of that top 8. And they need to rewind the clock back to round 11. These two teams battled it out here at Marvel Stadium. It was the Saints that had a comfortable lead at 3/4 time, and then the Hawks came home like a steam train to win by 10 points. James Sicily was the standout player that day. 43 disposals, 22 intercept possessions. Ross Lyon's already declared his hand. Cooper Sharman's going to have that responsibility as a defensive forward on him. He's such a star. The skipper of the Hawks had a superb season. So influential in their wins this year.
Lewis heading to full forward, and Brandon Ryan, the debutant, also starting on the field in the forward line. There he is. Big Sticks Ryan, as they call him.
Yes.
He's a long unit, and looking forward to seeing what he can provide the 25-year-old. It's Hawthorn's home away from home game here at St. Kilda's home venue, under the roof. Good crowd as well. And fantastic to have your company around the world on Fox Footy. We are underway. Marshall with Meek back into the lineup for Hawthorn this week. No Reeves. Ball knocked out. Wood quickly converged on. Little roller from him. Bramble back into the lineup and back among the possessions with an early one. Squeezed it along the boundary, and there is Brandon Ryan getting a welcome to the AFL from a couple of the Saints.
Does look like a stick. Not a very thick one at this stage, Dwayno.
It'd be good to equal the great Sticks Kernahan with that nickname, but we'll see how he travels. Meek knocks it down. Nash. Little toe poke from Crouch, who's also been in spectacular form. Weddle through the traffic. Nash. Warple. Heads inside 50. And he's got it all ready. Has Sticks Ryan. Well, how's this for the perfect start?
Well, it was a fantastic launch and grab. Positioned himself really well, read the fly of the football. So already we can identify that he can take a great grab above his head. Let's have a look at the next component, being the set shot.
Only arrived at Hawthorn 2 months ago. A mid-season draft addition. Doesn't quite have the range or the accuracy with that, but at least he's had a little nerve settler. Marshall, Webster, Sinclair, Crouch. Trying to move it quickly. Bruce shut him down. Crowd roaring. Brockman found some room. Didn't have a left. Needed to get onto his right. That didn't work for him. Touched. Wood. Most players would have had a shot there, but Brockman was so hesitant.
A couple of big outs for St. Kilda. Brad Hill through injury. And also Dougal Howard, who's been their key defender, which means that Cal Wilkie will have to play on the highly talented Mitch Lewis. Going to have his hands full today.
Back into play. Big ruck contest. Down to that congestion. Moore burrows in and is quickly caught high, according to the umpire.
Head over the football. Thank you. Brad. 3 more metres. Zach.
Become a great skill in our game, being able to draw high contact in the tackle inside your forward 50.
He was captain in the absence of James Sicily, and he gets them on the board with the opener, Dylan Moore.
Well, he's had a fantastic year, Dylan Moore. Flying under the radar, 24 disposals average per week. So he picks up the football. Oh, hate to say that one, Kingy.
Well, it happened quickly. Look, it just makes you question what the worth of tackling in the defensive 50 is. The risk is just too great. I mean, you end up coughing up the easiest of goals in a set shot sense. It's a great conversion from Dylan Moore, who has a happy knack of being where the football is. He's been a fantastic contributor over the last 18 months for the Hawthorn Football Club, both with his leadership and his talent. He's a must-watch, whether he's in at centre bounces or getting forward.
You mentioned that game they played here early this season, round 10, Saints home game. Both their games here this season between these two. And Moore had 31 possessions in that contest. Bounce to half forward. Sicily was epic in that contest. Couldn't get near it. Bramble gets it in front of Nash. Back to Weddle against the grain. Good enough to show some poise though. Frost. See how they want to travel here. Down the spine perhaps. But McDonald was under some heat. Moore mops that mess up. Newcomb handball smothered. Their intensity's up here. The Saints in their tackle pressure. Sinclair. Nash. Steele. Gets it inside 50. Caminiti had a sneaky chance. Higgins. It's his kind of ball, a ground ball. Nudged out of it by Hardwick. Superb. But a grab to his boot would have been a free kick and probably should have held it, Bramble, and taken more time. Windhager pokes it. Filippo within range. Mateus.
So we know Finn McGuinness has done some...
Maybe not.
That's not a great kick. Finn McGuinness, oh, still going.
But Nash had it, lost it. Cordy back into the lineup. McDonald, Nash, Weddle. There's that Weddle waddle from half-back. We're going to get that a bit today. He gets it back, and don't you love it? He's not sure where he goes. And it ends up being in the hands of Wilkie.
They look great when they're handballing the Hawks and awful when they're kicking at the minute.
Wanganeen-Milera. Touch blown, as you heard. It'll knock down Meek. Wolf will not give it a high free. Nash, Moore, shrugs, opens up. Just hot in the kitchen at the moment. It's an amazing game to watch. Short pass is pretty good. Ryan, second touch for the 25-year-old debutant, and that's a delightful kick to Botman. Wow.
Where's he been, Sticks?
He heads out wide, and the mark taken by Bruce. Perfect for him. Gets the chance to play on and slot another.
He's involved in everything, Brandon Ryan. Where's he been, Dwayne?
Well, it's the old Lindsay Gaze rule, perhaps, Kingy. If you're small, you've got 5 minutes to show me you can play. And if you're tall, you've got 5 years to show me you can't. So he's 25 years of age, and they've given him time.
Well, it's a fantastic start. The initial grab earlier in the game. Just some unselfish play. Typical of the Hawks when they were somewhere near their best.
What they're doing is they're challenging St Kilda to bring immense pressure. And if they can get through one layer with this handball game that's already on display, the Hawks have had 17 handballs to St Kilda's 5. Now, St Kilda are ranked second in the competition for handballing. So this will be a run-and-gun game. The Hawks at the moment are getting through. Great to see.
To answer your question exactly, he's been with Preston, Geelong West, Barwon Heads, North Melbourne VFL list. So he's been to a few.
He didn't spend as much time with Lindsay Gaze as he should have.
Hunter Clark floats it a little wide. Under it was Mitchell, couldn't pounce on it. Owens gets his first chance. Jones, arms free. Billings back. Little chip kick, top of the square. Wood gets up, great hands. And having an outstanding season.
He's going to have to do more of that today, Mason Wood, from that wing, high half-forward position. Just going to have to drift forward. Challenge for the Saints is how do they kick enough goals? So we're touching on Finn McGuinness earlier and some of the fantastic tagging roles he's done this year. He's gone straight to Jack Sinclair. Jack Sinclair starting off the half-back flank.
He's been getting plenty of it. 29 possessions last week, averaging 29 possessions a game, Jack Sinclair. And a nerve settler for the Saints from Mason Wood.
He's had a great year, Mason Wood. 13 goals, that's now 14 goals as a wingman. That's a huge return. So his ability to get forward, he's a guy that's very good aerially. So the wing role really suits him, getting back and supporting at the defensive end, but sliding in behind most defences pits him against an undersized opponent more often than not. And you can just see him there. He's clearly better in the air, and a beautiful finish there. They needed that, the Saints.
Back in the middle. Both teams looking like they want to use it quickly, fluently, run it. Hawthorn do like to take the game on, whether they're in front or behind. Meek. Just straight down to Hunter Clark. Burns back into the lineup. Sinclair, the possession machine, out wide to Billings, who came on early as the sub last week with Hill out in the first quarter. Held his spot in the 18. Hunter Clark looks inside and looks long to the pocket. Couple of options, little nudge to Cordy, but it was okay by Harwick. Gets it out of the general area. Wingard, whose first term was awesome last week. 10 possession first term, only had 7 for the rest of the game. Was shut down after that. Bramble, Webster and Moore. Moore was paid the mark. Heads to the pocket. Lewis on the march, can't mark it. Ball knocked down towards Ryan. The big guy gets there. Good battle with Battle. He reached in to keep it in the area. He gave it virtually to Wingard, and he's had another assist. The big guy.
It was fantastic ball movement. Surprisingly, King, both teams are very efficient and very good moving the ball from their D50 into their front half. It's just been the scoring for both teams, which has been a challenge this year. And already we can identify this style of play from the Hawks. Run with handball, overlap. And the challenge for St Kilda is, can they pressure it and keep it in their front half? That's just a great goal nouse from Wingard.
Well, the Hawks have really struggled to score once they've gone inside forward 50. Both teams have really across the course of the last 6 weeks, but Hawthorn 17th in the competition. They go at about 1 in every 6 opportunities to convert into a goal. They've had 3 inside 50s for 3 goals. They're going at 100%. And Ryan is having a massive impact on this game.
3 goals last week. Chad Wingard, game 299 for his career. That one. Burns. Crouch had to wait. Steele. Over the head of Cordy. Ball rolls to the back. Caminiti. Butler gets it around the body nicely. It's a goal fest.
And there's the reply from the Saints. Centre square bounce clearance. Jack Steele, who you highlighted pre-game, King, he's had a superb 4 or 5 weeks leading from the front. There's no mucking around with this one. This is not over-possessing. Jack Steele says, you know what, direct to goal. Just going to thump it in there and allow our forwards to go to work. And Dan Butler, who's had a really solid year, that's goal number 25 from the small forward. He's complimented Chad Wingard at the other end. Absolute carbon copy for Dan Butler.
Little brother Sam not playing with Hawthorn this afternoon. And he celebrates that.
The problem for the Hawks is that every time they score a goal, it goes back to centre bounce, and both St Kilda goals have come from centre bounce opportunities.
Meek, Marshall, Meek's second effort. Steele had him wrapped up, the tackle machine, and Meek fights on. Wood against the grain. Windhager. Sicily, early fly, Sharman. Got some hang time. Couldn't bring the Sharon down. The umpire said it was realistic, and I think he did touch it. Billings, Crouch, time to size it up. Awesome. How good is this contest early?
Let's go back to the Cooper Sharman attempt of mark of the century. Not sure if that was in the job description when Ross Lyon said you got the job on James Sicily this week. Have a look at this for a leap. Oh.
A little bit of Warwick Kappa about that. Hands in the middle of the back and up you go. Got a hand on it. It was unrealistic initially. It turned into realistic pretty quick, but this is a fantastic start. Both teams really playing with flair. A lot of defence on offer here at the minute. Ball movement absolutely supreme from both teams.
The instructions to Cooper Sharman from Ross Lyon was to play on Sicily. It didn't mean literally on him. Duano?
He was on him there. It's like an exhibition game. And we're back where we started. Scores level.
The challenge now is, can we continue this rich vein of scoring?
There's a lot on it for the Saints. Spot in the 8 is theirs at the moment. But depending on other results, they could drop out tonight. Higgins, they need to win this and they'll re-establish their spot. Warple through the traffic. Does well, got his arm free. Great core strength from Warple. Hardwick, Sicily, short to Ward. Dangerous, aggressive inside kick today. in game 50. Congratulations to him. Hands it off to Worpel. Wingard. Back to Ward. McDonald. Caught in a jam. Wingard tried to kick it off the carpet, didn't quite work. From the Billings was amazing with his aggressive attack. Mitchell.
Zach Jones looks like he's in strife behind the plate. Ankle.
Day long. Lewis the target.
Zach Jones hobbling on the sidelines.
Sorry, Jones, it will come down to you shortly. That almost looked like a throw. Windhager dragged down, gang tackled. Umpire circling and will toss it in the air. Sorry, Jonesy.
Zach Jones in a fair bit of pain, as you can see, hobbling to the sidelines just from the incident on the side of the ground there.
Had to do this last week, bring their sub on early, the Saints, as Ward gets it towards the goal line. Bruised, he knew what he wanted to do, but Webster knew exactly what he wanted to do too.
Well, it's a handy sub for the Saints today. It's Jade Gresham. So we'll keep a close eye on Zach Jones, who does look in a bit of strife. They're assessing his left knee.
Lewis does the ruck work. Just hammered out of there by Wood. Got it outside the 50, but Mitchell aggressive to Worpel. Ward. Newcomb. Centering kick. Hits a pretty good spot. Lewis under it. Oh, he's a star. He's a huge star. Pick 76 in 2016. The last general pick in that draft, and they have got a steal. Hawthorn. Picked 3-2 last time these two teams met here in round 10. .31 for the season so far. And he normally doesn't let you down.
Well, he's a star of a player, and he's going to be a huge headache for the Saints, just in regards to size and that matchup. We spoke about Dougal Howard out of the team. So the pieces have to move defensively for the Saints. It's going to be difficult to get a matchup that they like there.
Outside 5.
Windhager.
Play on. Yours.
It's long. Filippo comes up to make a target. This first season's been outstanding. Matthias Filippo sends it towards half forward. Is that Sicily Sharman battle? Little nudge by Sicily to Frost to Impey. Impey goes back to Sicily. Sharman corrals him, put some pressure on the kick, and he did enough. Turnover. Crouch. Burns. A bullet to the lap of Caminiti in last week's form, almost within range from there. Heads to the goal square. Options are plenty. Through the hands of Sharman. Wood mops it up. Turns, gives. Butler hooks. Goals. Saints in front.
I think Ross Lyon preferred when there was a bit of moisture in the venue, mate. We've seen 7 goals in about 10 minutes of footy. It's been exciting. It's just great composure there from Mason Wood. I mean, the Saints have kicked 4 goals in a short space of time in 17 minutes of footy. I mean, we look at their last few weeks. They've kicked 9, 8 and 8.
They kicked 4 goals to three-quarter time last week.
Yeah.
They got 4 already.
So when they kick 80 points plus, they're 7-0. So this is a fast start for the Saints.
Jade Gresham getting some early treatments. Have a look at that Zach Jones injury to his left knee. Possible medial.
Only his 4th game of the season. Zach Jones has been dogged by injury. Both the Sydney and the Saints, and umpire recalls it. Keep an eye on Jade Gresham, who's only missed 1 game this season. Plenty of footy behind him. Quick fire to Burns, who burns them off and spears the pass delightfully to Sicily's man Sharman.
This is the Saints at the start of the season. Rip, tear and bust and go. Win the contest and then explode, excite, run, create. This is them at their very best. This is as good as I've seen them play for weeks.
Another tall mid-season draft pickup, Cooper Sharman from a couple of years ago. Former Giants Academy. Ended up not being listed by the Giants, so he had to come to Melbourne to study for a while, and then he realised, oh, I want to be noticed. He moved to the Sandful to get noticed, to get drafted. He's been a great pickup for the Saints, and they've got 5.
And they're absolutely dominating centre square bounce. 6-1 out of the centre square bounce. 3 goals straight for the Saints as a result. And it's this additional handball, that Brad Crouch handball forward, some clever play by Clark. And you just say from a Hawks perspective, good luck defending that. Straight out the middle. James Sicily, as good as he is, cannot cover all the dangerous areas. Cooper Sharman doing a superb job to start this game.
Well, they average 9 points from centre bounces per game. They've got 3 goals in 20 minutes. It's just fantastic what they're doing in the middle of the ground, in particular, coming out with handball and putting punish to every disposal out of the middle. Exceptional start.
It's an odd saying, you start this week as you finished last week. So the Saints only managed 4 goals to three-quarter time last week, but kicked 5 goals in the last quarter last week to win that thriller against North Melbourne. Warple goes back to go forward. Little fumble. Filippo pounces. Warple worried him out of it. Still a chance for Steele. Marshall. Burns. Been a good addition so far, having a good first quarter. Wanganeen-Milera. Crouch. First chance the players have had to take a breath. Wanganeen-Milera. Hunter Clark. Fake to go now, has to go. And from 48, goal square. Leapers go up. Not sure it was touched. Oh. I'm not sure that was touched. It's through. Bizarre, but beautiful, this from the Saints.
So these numbers for both teams, inside 50, St Kilda, that was their 10th for 6 goals straight. On the flip side, the Hawks, 5 inside 50s for 3 goals, 1. So offense brilliant, defense not so great.
Sicily's the one here. They're all consumed with where Sicily's trying to play. And you can see the pack virtually come back to where Sicily is. And Sicily just doesn't quite get a palm on that. And you can just see all the heat, all the attention coming there to deny the intercept mark. He's had a freshie there, James.
And for those people unaware why we're talking so much about James Sicily, as he shows us that fresh area in slow-mo. So just repeating, he was best on ground, 42 possessions, 21 intercept possessions, and 11 score involvements when these two teams met here in round 10. So
it was one of the great individual performances, Dwayno, of the year.
So Ross Lyon's not going to fall for the same thing twice.
And they've managed this brilliantly to start already about the way they're moving the ball inside 50, and Ross highlighted around Sicily.
Stocker also back into the lineup for the Saints, launches it long. The pack spills. Caminiti, don't you love him?
The hammer and the Saints are on fire. And Sam Mitchell's got some early headaches.
It's the same again. So what they're trying to do, Sharman's nominally got Sicily behind the ball, but he comes back and blocks for Owens, who charges up to Sicily, puts a block on Sicily, no intercept support, and then it's just chaos. It's just get the ball to ground, any old fashion will do, and then go to work. See Sicily there. He's all the attention. He's where the whole focus of this forward 50 for the Saints is going to. It hasn't functioned for them in terms of offence throughout the course of the last 2 months inside forward 50. So they're saying, let's just make the starting point Sicily. He's probably going to go to the drop zone. This is brilliant in terms of the defensive setup for the forward 50, for the forward 6 of the Saints.
We talked about Sharman and Ryan as late additions. Well, Caminiti was the latest of late additions pre-season for the Saints. One of the great stories, considering he was invited to match simulation. He played so well, they signed him before he got in his car and went home. And he's delivered big time this year. Crouch. Floats it wide. Mitchell, good grab. They needed that.
It's going to take a little bit of the sting out of the game for the Hawks to maintain some possession.
Sicily.
Only been 12 tackles apiece, so 24 total, but it feels like the intensity and the pressure is high, just under 200 per team.
And it is a chess game at the moment between these two coaches, and I think the first move by 25% of chess masters is the Sicilian defence. And they're Trying to stop the Sicilian defence at the moment. The Saints hierarchy for Hawthorn. Ball knocked down by Crouch. Hits the deck. Impey blasts it back to half forward, but the wall's been set up and it's Wilkie in the wall. The great wall of Wilkie does it again.
Outside 5.
Battle. Hunter Clark. Webster.
Stand.
Sam Mitchell's got problems everywhere here. 8-1 centre bounce clearances in favour of St Kilda. I think it might even be worth putting Sicily on ball for a little while. It's not working down back at the minute. They've been able to kick 7 goals from 11 entries. Maybe free him up.
Sicily attacks this through his grasp. Got one to the back of the ear. Hardwick, kick smothered. No holding the ball, no in the back. Owens. Day stands under it, gets up, puts it to grass. Danger when Higgins gets it, but they got him. Warple. Sicily, hemmed in again. Pressure on the kick again. How's the umpire got to read that? It's on the full anyway. Wanganeen-Milera. It's a pretty good spot with the kick. Sharman got up again. Couldn't mark this one. Filippo clever between his legs. Butler off the carpet. Frost gathers. They gather him. Everybody wants a piece of the action. Marshall goes. And it's allowed. Play on to advantage.
They're just under pressure, the Hawks all over the field. One of the big question marks about St Kilda has been their disposal efficiency, kicking at 75% already. And once again, King, you've highlighted a couple of times, it's chaos in the front half. No intercept marks from the Hawks. Frost is under pressure at the top of the goal square and a great one-handed tackle. And Rowan Marshall, I think, is having an underrated season. Benefits from that great tackle. Turnover.
They've turned the forward 6 into a defensive outfit. That's what they've done. They've just said, OK, let's scrap, let's fight, let's try and create the odd opportunity. And it's worked in spades.
Sub has been activated. Jay Gresham is on for Zach Jones.
Thank you, Jonesy. So bad news on Jones, brought to us by Jonesy downstairs. We'll keep an eye on Gresham, but again, he's only missed 1 game this year, so it's in pretty good form. A steal hacks it straight to Impey, and that was imperfect from Impey. Billings turns and goes. Owens can't get there for the big mark attempt. Sharman was trailing in as well.
Just watch as Jack Billings was taking that intercept mark. The forwards of the Saints almost weren't leading. They were re-engaging their defender to make sure they were one-on-ones in front of the football.
Cordy, Mick, ball knocked to the front. Butler, little shrug, got caught, gave it off. Higgins! No.
Just clipped the base of the post.
They've had games, the Saints, where they haven't kicked much more than this. This is their highest scoring quarter of the season. To the wing, DeFrost, to anyone. Filippo will take it, though. The Saints will be heading back inside 50. Gresham gets a touch. Gets a couple. Battle. Gets it long. Day attacks it and pulls this one down, and they're going to need more of that.
Yeah, he's been put back as the loose man again. Sam Mitchell likes to go to that move to just try and stem the bleeding and get to quarter time intact.
Averaging 26 possessions a game this season, Will Day. Wide ball. Wilkie got a hand on it. Stocker to Wanganeen-Milera, who doesn't want to take that out. They're attacking with every chance they get, the Saints. Marshall, Crouch, well, maybe not now. They're going back to Wilkie, but you know what I mean. They're going back to go forward here. Windhager. It's been an aggressive start from both teams, but the Saints have pulled out the winning ticket. Wood, chip kick delightful. Filippo looks inside. He's got options aplenty. Had the short in Gresham, turns, goes, bullet pass. Owens got there from 3 deep. He almost spotted his own man in Higgins. Had to crumb it.
And Rowan Marshall starting to move across the ground beautifully. Lloyd Meek can't keep up.
This is alarm bells everywhere. 13-3 the stoppages. They're on the move. They know it's an area advantage at the minute.
Crouch tried to flick a handball away. Warple didn't take possession. Should have. Steele kick smothered. Warple gets it back, and well, there was a man there in Mitchell, so he was close enough. Ball in.
Just watch them hunt, though. They know they've got a ruck advantage. They're taking full toll here, this Saints midfield.
Cordy worked his way to the front. Crouch attacked it with pace. It's been a 9-goal exhibition match from the Saints.
Well, that's 6 goals from clearances in a quarter. You just don't see that. The AFL average is about 30 points per game. They're just exploding. They're proactive, on the move. A lot of downhill skiing. Everyone's just getting involved. Let's go. Let's try and put another one on them. Got them where we want them. The Saints are reactive as midfielders now. They've gone into their shell. It's a real challenge now for Sam Mitchell to get them re-engaged and to start again, to reset, given the fact that they've coughed up such a lead.
Starts with Lloyd Meek in the ruck. He's getting run around by Rowan Marshall around the ground. He's got to compete, not allow Marshall or the resting ruck to get their hands to the ball like that.
Hawks kicked the first 2 goals of this game. From the restart, Marshall, Meek. Day attacks it. Nash a little flick. Ward on the back pedal. Wilkie got there late. Battle tried to claim the mark initially. Windhager. Wanganeen-Milera. Wood had all the answers. Short to Gresham. Dangerous. But fortune favours the brave. Again, St Kilda. They're out. Midfield, Butler. Great collect to Crouch. Billings, the poke. Bramble got a hand in the way. Butler, Bramble. Boundary line's a win for Hawthorn at the moment.
So just to put this in perspective for the Saints, it's the most points in a quarter since they scored 50 in the final quarter versus the Crows in round 10, 2022.
Oh. And it's an exhibition as to what they can do, St Kilda. The way they were being talked about, you would have thought they were 13th, 14th on the ladder. They started this round in the 8, and they win this. They establish their spot in the 8.
Hawks have just got to get through to quarter time, allow the assistant coaches and Sam Mitchell to reset. Too many pieces that aren't currently working all over the ground, all facets of the game.
Warple got a kick away. He was being slung, so it'll be a ball in.
So Brett Crouch is already up to 12 disposals. Rowan Marshall's had 9. Mason Woods had 8. And all their key ball winners getting their hands on the football.
Meek, Marshall.
It's not so much the volume, it's the power. They've won 14 clearances in total and scored 7 times. 6 goals won. I can't recall a clearance performance like it.
Warple weaves his way through the traffic. Newcomb gives it back. Inside 50, the kick. Stocker, front spot. Good to have him back. Been a good addition to their list as well. A late addition. Stephen Silvani liked him so much he's recruited him twice at Carlton and at St Kilda. Windhager. Phillippo. Billings. Still got a minute and change to play with here, the Saints. See what they want to do with it.
They've got numbers on the near side if they can switch it quickly.
Stocker. Wilkie. Ignored Wood. He wanted the spine. Straight down the middle. Battle. Good attack from MP, but he almost turns it over. He does. Brockman knocked it on. Straight to Wanganeen-Milera. Owens looks up. Always got some time. There was surely no time there for him to use, and yet he found some to size up Steele.
He's charging forward. He's unopposed at the moment, Mitch Owens.
Pulls the kick wide. Sharman gets up. At least knocked it to ground. Here's Owens again, as you mentioned, Kingy. Gets his arms above his head. Keeps it alive. Gresham the sub. Spins. Phillippo. Across the face.
The Saints are having one of their best quarters, or the best quarter of their season. Yet their best player, Jack Sinclair's, only had the 4 disposals.
Just need to milk these seconds down, and they don't. Wanganeen-Milera about to give the Saints one last roll of the dice for a 10-goal opening quarter to Stocker, who gets the signal from the bench. Sets it up long. Sharman, Filippo! No front-on contact. Umpires put the whistle away, and the siren sounds to end what was a horror first round for Hawthorn. Can't wait to get to their corner and reassess, mop up the blood. No free there. Saints fans in the house absolutely loving what they've seen. It's a Hawthorn home game away from home at St Kilda's home venue, and St Kilda have told them, not on our grass. 9-2, 56 to 3-1, 19 at quarter time. And don't forget, bounce, first crack, the craziness, the yin and yang, Dicko, Kingy, Joey. Can't wait to see what's on offer after an amazing round of upsets this round. Quarter time at Marvel Stadium. Sam Mitchell's second season as coach of Hawthorn. And if the players haven't seen this side of Sam yet, they've seen it now. Conceded 9 goals in the opening term, 9-2, 56 to 3-1-19. To the lip readers out there, send us a text if you can on Fox Footy. What do you make of it, guys?
Well, that's straight to the midfield group, and rightly so. He couldn't get down there quick enough, Sam Mitchell, and he moves his way to the forwards. They got outworked, they got out-hunted. They didn't absorb the pressure that the Saints put on them, and he has every right to be frustrated, Sam Mitchell.
And he's about to join Sarah Jones, which will be an interesting chat. So Hawthorn kicked the opening 2 goals of the contest, and then St Kilda didn't make it a contest after that. Here's Sarah Jones.
Sam, the Saints have come with a really clear plan against your skipper. I saw you speaking to James Sicily. What was the message?
I can't tell you quite that one, but you know, it's not going to be an easy day for him, we know that, but if we can't win clearance and get it into our front half, then it's not going to be an easy day for anyone. Goals
from stoppage and centre bounces were a real problem in the opening quarter. What are you going to change up?
Yeah, we need to reset ourselves and go again, and I think we look for some things that weren't there in the first quarter. We just have to go back to basics and try to get a front half game.
Coaches need to know when to give them the rev up. We saw you do it just then. Do you feel like the group will respond?
Well, Tyler, that's the only reason for it. So, yeah, there's a long way to go in this game. We just need to start pegging them back now.
Good luck.
Cheers.
He raises a good point. So clearly it's been a dreadful start, 37 points the margin. Great job by the Saints. From a Hawks perspective, there is time. Don't need to gain back this margin right now, but they need to chip away and start making some progress forward.
Saints will establish their top 8 spot if they get this win. A lot on the line for them in this one, but there's an eternity left for the Hawks to turn it around. Day gets them out of the middle. Battle held it long enough, the umpire said. Ryan turned, but he knows the dissent rule, the debutant at least. Didn't argue the point. Owens, Filippo, both down there. Filippo with the flick over his head to keep it rolling. Harder Clark, straight to Hardwick. Day. Spears it toward Ryan at half-forward. He got hands on it. The Battle stole it from his grasp. Heads out wide to Sharman. And again, it's been a good contest. Sharman and Sicily. This time it's Sharman and Day. Back inside to Sicily. So they're trying to release their main guy. Had an amazing year, James Sicily. To Weddle. Who, no need to tell you, does love to run. Would have liked to have run a bit further there. But he gives it to Frost, who also likes to run but doesn't get a chance to. Newcomb.
Hawks love to switch the football. They're just trying to find a way around this team defence of the Saints. They're doing a really good job to close the exits.
Hardwick to Weddle to Sicily, and again the Saints have put this zone up really, really well to stop them from running through it. Bramble got it back from McGuinness. Wilkie cuts it off. Hamble a little too hot for Burns. A wraparound tackle, an octopus tackle by Filippo. holds the ball in Mackenzie's grasp.
And the more time that the Saints are able to hold the ball movement up of the Hawks across their half-back line, allows the Saints defence to get in position.
Holding, Hawthorn.
So Meek helped by the arm. Nash had to play onto advantage, and it works. Lewis, who is normally a sharpshooter and probably owes them one after his miss in the opening term.
Well, it looks like they've responded. And it's probably a shame that it takes that sort of spray to get this response, but young teams sometimes need direction, both in-game and during the week.
Bends it around too much.
And they are a young team, Hawthorn. The least experienced combination this round again. The 13 players out there under 50 games.
Play on. New middle.
Straight down the spine, aggressively to battle. He's up through his grasp.
Oh.
Not caught high by day. Wanganeen-Milera, Hunter Clark, Crouch. Knew he had the outlet back. Windhager, who uses it magnificently to Burns.
Outside 5.
So they were in the corridor, but had to flare out wide. Wanganeen-Milera, Burns. Touch play on. Wingard, the dance was great. The tackle was epic from Sinclair. And they're off again. Webster, Hunter Clark, Crouch in a little bit of space with a little bit of time and a little bit of Higgins on the end of it.
Well, Finn McGuinness is doing a great job on Jack Sinclair. Might be time to make the move. Brad Crouch is off the chain, up to 14 disposals. He's had a couple of goals.
This is too easy. Too easy.
Bends it around the body, didn't get enough on it. Yes, he did. He got it all the way to the goal square to Cordy.
Yeah, and there's the full stop on my point. This is way too easy in the forward half for St Kilda. The Hawks back 6, and I understand they've been under pressure from centre bouncers, but they've been poor.
9th game as a Saint, back into the lineup and back amongst the goals. Zane Cordy.
They look more instinctive today, Kingy. The Saints with their ball movement really challenging that team defence.
Yeah, but just have a look behind the ball. They've got an extra down there in Day, so they've got 7 defenders at the moment. And this is just too easy. There's holes everywhere. There's no real communication. It's every man for himself. Saints work in little drop zones, and they're not even isolated by themselves. They're in acres of space. That's just too easy. An uncontested mark in the goal square after that period of time. They've gone inside 50 18 times for 12 scores, 10 of those goals. So they need to lift. And James Sicily, I've got no doubt, would be barking instructions when he gets the opportunity to, in between resetting post goals. But this has been really disappointing behind centre for the Hawks.
First season back as Saints coach after taking over from Brett Ratton. Ross Lyon started the season magnificently in his second stint as Saints coach. Had a little flat spot, couldn't score for a while. Got 10 on the board already.
Thanks. Boy, right, thank you, Josh. Thank you.
A man down. Just joined us with Zach Jones out of the game already. Had to bring their sub on. Same thing happened last week. Brad Hill down early and still won that game. Nash through the traffic nicely. McGuinness. Impey. Wingard. They need their X factor to light it up, as he did early last week. To the pocket to Ryan. He's looked their best option forward, the debutant.
Yeah, he has. He's constantly on the move. I really like the look of this guy.
Where you are now?
Bit of trouble in front of goal last time. Let's see if he can get the conversion right here.
Got some good footy blood. He's the cousin of Fremantle's Luke. That is magnificent. The 25-year-old debutant, Brandon Ryan. First goal in AFL footy. And welcome to the big time, Sticks Ryan.
He kicks it better than Sticks. That spun beautifully. Brought it from left to right. Just look at his movement. That's what I'm really impressed with. Bit of a glider, one of those guys you think's going half pace, but he's seriously travelling. That's just great presentation. And you can't beat a guy of 200 centimetres when he extends like that. Wanganeen-Milera had no play at that. That's just a great conversion. That's exactly what they needed in this given game right now. A spark, a bit of energy. 6 goals down. Does that ignite the group to come with a young man who's just trying his best? Well done, Brandon Ryan.
That's ownership of a moment in time. It's not just about his goal there, but it's about this game situation. Gives them some confidence back. Warple, can they get a clearance, as Sam Mitchell pleaded for them at quarter time? If I can lip read correctly. That seemed to be what he was asking.
Yeah, you don't have to be the best lip reader in the world to find out most of those words.
Your extra adjectives, verbs, nouns.
A lot of them not in the dictionary.
No, all under the same word, I think. Adjective, noun and verb, all of them under that same one. Warple, long, little nudge out, Wilkie, not paid. Wingard, the knock on to Bruce. They weren't quite on the same page. He nearly got it through anyway. Sinclair again aggressive down the spine with the kick in. Gresham. As much as it'll be disappointing to have Zach Jones out of the game, we'll be happy to be out there early.
It appears that Sam Mitchell's broken the tag. Finn McGuinness no longer going to Jack Sinclair, so expect him to get a lot more of the football this quarter.
So the possession machine gets it back. Gives it to Gresham. Marshall the target. Big fist of meat crushes it to the line.
He's had a really solid year, Rowan Marshall. Pretty much done the ruck duties. 1 out, averaging 20 disposals, gets on the scoreboard as well.
Won all 4 clearances this quarter, the Hawks. They've responded to the coach's quarter-time address.
A big moment for Lloyd Meek as well. No Reeves. Sam Mitchell has elected not to play 2 specialist rucks the last few weeks when both were available. Reeves out, so Meek in. Ward wobbles it. Lewis, Wilkie. He's a tough man to beat, Cal Wilkie. Speaking of guys who've had to wait to get their chance, it's an amazing, overlooked in 4 drafts. North Adelaide best and fairest in a premiership year, and not missed since he was drafted. Marshall, Wingard got a piece of it. Burns a piece of it. Wanganeen-Milera clean-handed. Kick not so good. Impey gets some hang time. Got a spark here, the Hawks. Impey, top of the square. Ryan nearly hands on it. Warple, wasn't a clean handoff handball. Got away with it. Sicily. Pokes it back to the pocket. Went for Moore. No arm chop free. Wingard. Ward. Touched, so Moore has to go. Gave it to Wingard. Yeah, not sure what his plan was there.
No, top of the goal square, Ryan was unopposed. As young as he is, as inexperienced as he is, you can't get any more inexperienced than what Brandon Ryan is, but he was clear at the top of the goal square. That's a wonderful mark from Jarman Impey.
Saints tightrope the boundary. Battle to Michita Owens. Contender for the Rising Star Award. Will Ashcroft doesn't get the chance to put together a big last month, but Owens does. Wilkie held up. Wanganeen-Milera told it wasn't the distance required, but almost works to his advantage, the play on, because it's kind of what he wanted to do. Gets away from McGuinness, goes wide, no mark, hits the deck. Toe poke by Bramble, but straight to Crouch. Gresham.
Coming out for disposal number 9, Jade Gresham, the sub today. I know put his best foot forward.
I'll let you dig down deep into the stats file to find out what the most possessions for a sub's been this year. Dell. Stocker, the spear. Windhager, the juggle. Steele, who kicked the go-ahead goal for them against North last week, their inspirational captain. Back to Stocker. Sinclair. He pumps it. They've got a couple of options. Sharman got both palms to it and put it down.
They just plot their course. The Saints just trying to work their way through a lot of short kicks till they can get it in the hand of the good ball users. Booba Sharman should have doubled that one up.
Impey to Hardwick. Under immense pressure with the kick, but somehow finds McKenzie. Back inside. McKenzie back into the lineup this week. to Ward. Dangerous. Marshall feeds it back in. I can smell more blood here. The Saints. Little floater to the hole. Didn't quite get to the hole because Mitchell cut it off before Butler could get there. One of those young players Kingy was talking about earlier. They've got plenty of them. These two teams really, but Hawthorn have quite a few in the inexperienced category. It's in the hands of one of their more experienced players now, Jarman Impey, who goes back to Hardwick.
Well, they've got 6, the Hawks, that have played 100 games or more. Saints have got a dozen.
Wow.
So there's a big differentiation there.
Yeah. Good 2-on-2 battle to win. McKenzie gave it up to Day, who marches and goes and looks around, and they're in his chemtrail. He got it off to Moore, who should spend it wisely. To the pocket. Thumped clear of Bruce. Could have gone for home.
Split the difference, unfortunately. He had options short. Chad Wingard had the arms out. 20 metres from the kicker, was ignored.
He slipped in his lead, Chad, and it threw everything out of kilter.
Wilkie, again, they used the corridor. Sharman turns and goes. Caminiti's out the back. Got it.
Gee, they look dangerous. Anytime the ball goes centre forward with some sort of speed, St Kilda are scoring. Been held up a few times, and the Hawks responded for the first 6 or 7 minutes of this quarter and stopped the Saints' onslaught, started to win some clearances, but they got a massive problem down back. They cannot find a winner in their back 6.
Not many saw this coming. Saints only just got over North Melbourne last week, who'd lost 15 games in a row leading into that. No Brad Hill, no Match King, no Dougal Howard. And they've got 11 on the board halfway through the second term.
Just see here, this is what you're talking about, Del, before. Wingard just goes to ground there, and Moore was going to kick the short pass. He was going to honour the lead, and that play breaks down, and then you just see the flow of play. They're just out the back too easily, too quickly. No real coverage, no real support. And the tall representation is just having a field day in the forward 50. 11 goals, 3 in a half of football for St Kilda is an absolute feast.
There's been a lot of conversation about the inability of the Saints to score. My opinion is it hasn't been through lack of trying. They just can't execute their skills. Today going at 76% by foot.
In fairness, they haven't set up games to score heavily, though, Del. Today's a different story.
And Sinclair by foot of the top 10 possession winners in the comp is #1, ahead of Nick Dacos. Sinclair with his ball use by foot. Spear pass to Wingard. Gets it off to McKenzie. Finds some space, can't find a target. Puts it straight on the chest of Stocker, as if Stocker was calling for it. Windhager.
That was a critical defensive play then from the Hawks. That's been the counter-punch on fast turnover. They've got them in a slow situation now. The Saints look to change gears.
Sinclair hits another target. It was Stocker who gave to Windhager, who crosses to the opposite wing to Wood, and they are out again. Webster, Wanganeen-Milera. Plenty of time and space. Frost gets in the hole. Held it long enough.
That was good by Frost. He was reading the flight of the play opposed to tracking his man. Got in the right spot at the right time.
Sicily to Moore. To Lewis, who comes down to make an option but couldn't get there before Wood did. Spectacular season at the moment unfolding for Mason Wood. And it might have a big September finish for it yet. Cordy. Change clubs. Not many father-sons leave their clubs, but he has. First season as a Saint. A chip kick to the middle to Steele. Kept it alive, though. Back to Sinclair from the hand of Hunter Clark. All the options. Brilliant chase down tackle, Wingard. And could that light him up? Heads inside, dangerous, but fantastic. The handoff to Moore. Had a chance moments ago to go for home. Frost feeds it out wide. Lewis, 45 out, pops it, pocket Bruce. In good hands.
Keep a close eye on Frost, whether he's changed positions or he's got a bit disorientated, went to the other end of the ground.
Bruce, hook kicks. They won't lie down the hooks. There's a lot of time left in this for things to change. So, I'll head down to Sarah Jones shortly. I think the Hawks are going to bring their sub on as well.
Well, it was a great tackle. That probably highlights the style of play where the Saints missed a couple of handballs, missed a couple of kicks, put themselves under pressure. And for one of the few times today, they pay the full price.
Dwayne, you're right. James Blank comes into the side as the sub. Mitchell has been subbed out, and it's a tactical substitution.
It's interesting. Seamus Mitchell's a running defender, so they've brought on a taller defender, James Blank.
Yeah, they need some support down there. Their back six is getting mauled at the moment, and Mitchell needed to make a change.
Steele blasts it out of the middle. Sicily, a little nudge on Sharman. Hands to the side. Frost. Ward. Had it. Lost it. Gresham pursues him. Out of play. There is Seamus Mitchell. Third season for their pick 29 back in 2020. He was dropped to the rookie list and fighting for his football life every time he gets on the park. Caminiti does the ruck work. Against him, Meek. Took it out of the air. Wrapped up by Steele. Again, Caminiti and Meek. Warple. Top 10 in the AFL for clearances this season, James Warple. And there's another to Webster, though. Marshall. A torp inside 50. Day got some hang time, couldn't bring the mark down. Filippo, Owens, Weddle goes. Bramble, who also loves to run. A bounce, and they're both off together. Some protection from Weddle. Bramble a nudge to the back. Lewis the 1-on-2. Can't beat the two. Wilkie.
It was a superb chase from Dan Butler. It was a 40-metre chase just to put some pressure on. Allow Wilkie to take that intercept mark.
Battle. As Lewis had to pursue both players. Sharman is threatening to take mark of the year. The way he's playing at the moment. He's been given the job to stop James Sicily from getting it.
Not going to
as an intercept marker.
He's not going to die wondering today, Cooper Sharman.
Shortish throw in. Marshall, Meek both got there late. Meek almost throws that out to Warple.
Now, I guess this is part of the frustration at the moment for Sam Mitchell as he sees his clearance team in the second term respond to a big spray and win 8 of the next 10 clearances when they won 6 of 21 in the first term. So part of the growth or the growing process is some growing pains, I guess.
And they want to win, Hawthorn. There was a few questioning their start of the season, but the Hawks start the day 16th. Can't move up or down the ladder today, win, lose or draw. Their ladder position won't change. They could win 3 of their remaining games and not move up at all. So nothing will change ladder position, draft position for Hawthorn. They just want to get wins into their younger team. Sam Mitchell's quarter-time address showed you how much it means to him.
Or does he go again at half-time and get another response? Dwayne?
Well, you're a coach now, Dal. How many have you got in you, those sprays?
Depends how long your voice lasts for. So, Nasai Wanganeen-Milera, I think, arguably is St Kilda's best kicker, ball user. He's had 20 disposals. He's kicked the ball 14 times and going at 80%.
From memory, coaches are pretty resilient with their sprays, Dwayne. They can find.
Yeah, although you did grow up in a different era, Kingy.
Shout out to Dennis Pagan.
Mark taken by Billings. And all out of play. Yeah, it's more the cuddle these days. It's the carrot, not the whip. But maybe the whip at half-time still. Given Hawthorn's got an eternity to play their way back into this. They can score quickly, Hawthorn. They were in this situation. Hawk fans have seen this movie before against Port Adelaide a couple of months ago. Is one more toward Brockman, who couldn't use his body on Webster, who stood his ground. More Hawk fans in the house than Saint fans, given this is a Hawthorn home game, but the Saints fans that are here enjoying the show. Windhager heads out wide to Wood, didn't quite get to him though. So what are Hawthorn going to do here? Aggressive inside, and McGuinness goes outside. It'll still work because the mark taken by Moore. And the Saints zone folds back. Lewis is in the pocket and spectacular. That was the intended target. He was on a hard lead. The pass was great, and his hands were equal to it.
It's a great call, Dwayne, because he really motored that last 5 metres to cut the arc and get back in front of those Saints defenders. That was super. That was undersold a little bit.
Kicked 4-2 last week against Noah Bolter. It was a big performance from him last week, and that's a big performance from him here. They're still alive, the Hawks.
And this is the guy. This is the guy they're building this club around. You need a beacon forward of centre to carry the load. Mitch Lewis, that man. Just have a look at this lead. So it's an honest 100% lead early, and then he wraps around the corner. He has to find a way to get in front of those two Saints defenders. Wilkie is tracking quite nicely. He just finds speed that most power forwards don't have. Here's a better angle here. You can just see he's fading towards the boundary. The kick's a bit skinny. He has to find those metres back. It's great coverage. Terrific camera work there. That's an awesome view. If you're a Hawks fan, you need to see a bit more of that today. But they are building here. They are digging into this lead.
From the restart, Newcomb, also a clearance specialist. Oh, he fishtailed Steele nicely. Got rid of him. Hand up. McDonald. Day. He's pushed the clutch in for a second. Bought some time. Sped away. Big contest as a hold. And it's going to Sticks Ryan. That's the way he lifted it with one hand like he's holding a kitten. Heads to the pocket. Big Sticks. Couldn't quite get it to Lewis. Sinclair heads out wide. Filippo.
Sticks again.
For a block. Sticks. Too much reach.
Tell you what, he's looking good, isn't he?
He is. Day inside. And now the long kick by McDonald to a good spot. Saints have got plenty behind the ball. Hitting the deck wasn't part of the plan. Webster. Sinclair. Get it into the hands of your best user, and he floats that over the top into the hole to Marshall. Delightful kick to Butler. And now almost out of trouble here. Cordy had his jumper held.
Then to get back here, the Hawks. 3 Saints have run forward to the football.
They're out everywhere. If they can go quickly here, they've got an outnumber in the forward 50.
Hawks have done well actually to hold that up on centre wing.
Windhager. Jumper hold. Wilkie. Every Hawk ahead of him. Every Hawthorn player in one half. Webster.
They want to kick it long here. Sicily's just getting a line with the football. Cooper Sharman right beside him.
Boundary line an option. Meek went to ground. Filippo and Sharman both there. And here is the man we've spoken of, Sicily. He's got to kick it to where Sicily ain't. Bramble to Lewis, who gets up. Couldn't bring it to ground. Lays a half tackle on Webster. Big ball to win, and Moore wins it. Flicks it out wide. McGuinness, can he find a target? Can they get a late one? Little nudge to the back of Ryan. Mark taken by Stocker. Hawk fans thought Stick should have won a free. He's an instant cold hero, their 25-year-old debutant. Butler. Marshall in the middle of all that. Ball knocked down. Bramble, Sicily, didn't like what he had forward. Is it back to Bramble? So still a roll of the dice here for the Hawks. Spear pass not good. Sinclair, Butler, Gresham, Steele, Marshall the run and carry guy. Filippo, the drop wasn't part of the deal. Little toe off the deck though will still work. Billings, short, Higgins. Even the chaos was organised by the Saints.
It was a beautiful lead. The lead, he just went a split second before everyone else in that forward line. He saw what was happening with Billings taking control and pinched a yard or two, and that was enough.
For a 12-goal half for the Saints. It's across the face, and there's a free here to Hawthorn hold.
Holding line there, Phil. Back to the line. Outside 5. Move outside 5. Come back on.
A few seconds to mop up here. Siren about to sound. Phenomenal half by the Saints. Taking the Hawks to Sunday school today. Ross Lyon, first season back as St Kilda coach after taking over from Brett Ratton. 5 seasons with St Kilda from 07 to 2011 for 3 grand finals, but of course no flag. 8 seasons as Fremantle coach for a grand final loss, but all his experience with Corey Enright, with him Rob Harvey, Lenny Hayes, Brendan Goddard around him. They've used not just all the brains he's got, Ross Lyon, but all the brains he can borrow to come up with a resolution to what's been a couple of quiet months as we head downstairs to Sarah Jones.
Dan, you would have expected Hawthorn to hit back, and they did it on the back of their midfield. What adjustments do you make to make sure you can keep them at bay in the second half?
Yeah, we knew coming into the game they're a great side. Is in the terms of they move the ball straight through the corridor, and probably the longer the game goes on, the more they're going to try to go through the corridor. So probably just have to tighten up on the inside and get them on the outside like we did in the first quarter.
For a team that's been criticised about the forward line not being able to kick enough goals, it's been a bit of a scoring frenzy down there. How do you maintain the rage?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, it's pretty tiring working up and back, but it's good to get some chemistry between the mids and forwards, and hopefully we'll try to take it in the second half as well.
I'm sure Ross will have plenty to say at halftime. We'll let you get in there.
Thanks very much, Rita.
Great to have your company on Fox Footy, wherever you're watching. Half-time, Saints with a good lead, 11-3 to 6-4. And don't forget, tomorrow night on Fox Footy, as we head into Ruck Round, Sammy Draper joining the AFL 360 team. Couch as well, led by Gary Lyon. Massive night of footy on Fox Footy with Stephen King and Simon Goodwin tomorrow night. Can't wait for your company then.
Welcome back to Fox Footy's coverage of Hawthorn and St Kilda from Marvel Stadium, and it has been a powerhouse opening half by Ross Lyon's men. So much at stake in the context of their season, and the Saints, David King and Nick Del Santo, are playing like their finals future hangs on this game.
Oh, they've been awesome today. Their start was terrific, and that's when games get separated. Minute 1 to minute 10, who's there, who's invested, and who's going to shift the responsibility from one coach's box to the other. And they put the question to Sam Mitchell and his troops, and they didn't have the answer.
There'd be 60,000 St Kilda members saying, where has this been for the last 8 weeks? Where has this been freedom been? I think it's been a great tactical and a great plan coming into this game. Now, they've absolutely controlled stoppages. They've scored freely, particularly from centre square bounce. There's nothing perfect about that. That's just a big dump kick forward. But then the next piece comes into play. One-on-ones in front of the football. But they've done it in multiple ways. They've controlled it at the right time. They've owned stoppages. But then there's been moments of just sheer speed. And the will to get the ball forward to centre and allow your forwards to go to work. They've done a brilliant job of not allowing Sicily to be free, to take intercept marks and just make the front half a real scrap and they're scoring from it.
11 goals, 3, incredibly accurate, which also helps things. David King, last time these teams met in round 11, James Sicily, 43 disposals, 22 intercepts. Ross Lyon had to come today with a plan, and he's done exactly that.
Yeah, you know the saying, fool me once, fool me twice. It's not going to happen today. Ross Lyon, his lieutenants are so smart. They know they're not going to allow one man to defeat them. So essentially, they're tagging Sicily. They're ensuring that he doesn't have an impact with his intercept marking game and challenge lesser defenders to do the responsibilities defensively. Not going to happen, and that's why they've scored 11-3 from 25 inside 50s. That's why they've scored so heavily from centre bounces, because they win contest forward of the ball, the Saints. It's incredibly smart coaching.
Yep.
And I want to see this continue in the second half. Don't shut it down now, Ross. Keep them full ball.
I see a response also from Sam Mitchell. Plan A hasn't worked. Let's see what he goes through from here. I expect Sicily to be moved around the ground a little bit.
Well, a big second half coming up at Marvel Stadium, and then we're heading to the west for the Eagles and North Melbourne. Alistair Clarkson is back next week, so the Roos are looking to get the win for Brett Ratton.
It is fast, it is furious. That is absolutely outrageous.
And it's lights out and away we go. Of all the drama, of all the controversy, absolutely incredible.
So much incredible sport happening right across the globe, and you can catch the Formula One Grand Prix tonight over on Fox Sports. We're going to head into our Fox Footy newsroom now. John Ralph has the very latest, and Ralphie, please tell us, we haven't seen the last of the great Lance Franklin.
Hello, Sarah. Well, thankfully we have an extra round this year with Gather Round, and so Lance Franklin might need every day leading into that round 24 clash with Melbourne to try and get up for a farewell game. We'll show you that incident from last night. He'll have scans this afternoon in Sydney. The club says today it's not aware if it's just a very minor tweak or a major tear after last night's incident, but a normal 21-day recovery would put him back for round 23. Given his soft tissue, his history and his age, no guarantee we will see him again, but fingers and toes and everything crossed. Now, Dane Rampy is also having scans today. He missed the last quarter with his own separate calf issue. You would think that he is very unlikely to take on GWS, so a significant pair of Sydney Stars out against GWS. Geelong is bracing for Mark Blitzapps to miss the entire home and away season after his serious hamstring injury. Now, Chris Scott called him irreplaceable, with the reigning premiers at risk of a shock finals exit. Tom Hawkins also expected to be ruled out for coming weeks with his own hamstring. Chris Scott played this one down, but it did seem reasonably serious. Asava Radigalera and Brandon Parfitt, their likely replacements, as that pair consider their own futures at Geelong. Now, Josh Bruce will have scans tomorrow, but everyone at the Western Bulldogs expects that he has done his ACL. If it is what the club thinks, he's out for most of next year. He is uncontracted. He's such a fan favourite, but he's probably unlikely to get a new deal. Liam Jones only needs to train well on Wednesday off his forearm fracture, been out since round 14, so he at least will return on Friday night football, but a bitter blow for a really popular player in Josh Bruce.
Yeah, we certainly wish Josh the very best. Ralphie, the showdown last night, Adelaide Oval was absolutely rocking, but there is some controversy to emerge from the game.
No doubt, and the AFL are expected today to make a ruling on Aliir and whether he should have had an HIA test after he returned to the field 6 minutes and 40 seconds after this collision with Lachie Jones. AFL medical boss Michael McDissy is investigating the incident as we speak. No concussion test for Aliir. Lachie Jones had an HIA, but was then ruled out with a migraine, not concussion. So power football boss Chris Davies today tells Fox Footy both passed concussion test again today. He says medico Mark Fisher was very strong. Aliir didn't need that concussion test. He was more aware in this incident of a jaw or potentially a neck incident. As Davies tells us, though, if the AFL does rule this afternoon that vision from the head knock meant they should have had a concussion test for Aliir, they will accept that ruling. So expect a statement from the AFL today and potentially some kind of penalty.
Thank you very much to John Ralph in our Fox Footy newsroom. Well, stay with us after the break. We return to second half action. Can the Saints continue this dominance they've had over Hawthorn today? They're leading comfortably here at Marvel Stadium, and the youngsters, oh, look at the smiles. They are having a beautiful time out in the middle, enjoying all the action, are the young NAB Oz kickers.
Roof shot, big half to come for St Kilda to establish their spot in the top 8, maybe get a percentage boost, but the Hawks fought back late in that opening half. They were down by 43 points, Hawthorn, cut it back to 29 with a couple of quarters to play, and the Saints' man of steel has done it again.
Yeah, he's had a superb first half, Jack Steele. Kingy highlighted in pre-game about his last 5 weeks and how the captain has stood up. It's been really impressive, and it started at those centre square bounces.
6 centre bounces, clearances. That's an unbelievable number, and the impact on the ladder is not lost on Saints fans, climbing into 5th position on the AFL table in what's been an unbelievable round 20 of football with upsets everywhere. But I think we're all blown away by the scoring power of the Saints this afternoon. been quite frightening. 69 points. I mean, there's been 8 games this year where they haven't exceeded 69 points. So to have that at half-time is huge.
Saints finished last season 10th, 11 wins, 11 losses. After 19 games last season, under the freshly re-signed Brett Ratton, the Saints were 11 wins, 8 losses. So they need to win today to be 11-8, but they do look in a lot better shape when you look at that ladder, and it is a win-loss business.
Absolutely, absolutely. You need to give credit to the Hawks for their response in that second quarter after some solid feedback from their coach, Sam Mitchell. They win the clearances, they win the contested possession, get the ball inside forward 50 more than the Saints did in that quarter as a result, and put a little bit of scoreboard pressure on. So the margin, 29 points, still reachable from here. So a big quarter of football coming up for both teams.
So Sam Mitchell on screen, second season as coach, 13th last year in his first season, 8 wins in 2022. Hawks finished 15th and 14th the last 2 seasons before he took over as coach. Big second half coming up here in the context of the season and the confidence level of both teams. Scrambled towards Sharman, who's been awesome so far in this one in opposition to Sicily.
Sharman has been awesome, but it's probably more he hasn't allowed Sicily to be awesome as well. So once again, Sam Mitchell choosing not to go with the tag on Jack Sinclair like they did in the first quarter. Sinclair had 14 disposals in that second quarter.
Takes some time to think about this. He's got a 4-goal game to his name. For early in his career as a Saint, and he misses that opportunity for the perfect start to this half. What kind of Hawthorn are we going to see in the second half? In this situation against Port a couple of months ago and had a brilliant second half. Got to win it, but play their way back into it. Newcomb, a little roller. Crouch about to pounce on it. Been a possession fest for him. Newcomb just made it his own. Beelined it, gave it to Warple, handed to Wimpy, and he runs the corridor. Hunted down by Wanganeen-Milera. Pops it wide, Burns. Sinclair pulls up, took a netball step, kept going. Filippo. Wingard chasing Sinclair so he couldn't get another touch. Straight down the spine they'd travel. Sharman, Caminiti, Cordy all down there. It's a raffle. Caminiti pulled out the winning ticket, but he didn't get enough on the kick. And it is an old saying, you start the next week as you finish the last. The Saints' last 5 goals in the last quarter last week they kicked to steal that win against North Melbourne. Hawthorn conceded the last 6 goals in the last quarter last week to lose that thrill to Richmond. Certainly has transpired like that in this one. Meek. Warple. Ryan. 25-year-old debutant getting up the field a bit. Wanganeen-Milera. A step ladder on day. Steele. Impey in front. Takes
well done, Impey.
The saving mark.
Took the risk to take the front position. Judged it really well.
Sicily there just trying to find himself some possession, get himself into the game. I just wonder whether Sam Mitchell will release him into the midfield at some stage in this third term to get some spark.
Day also trying to generate some momentum. Harbick from one wing to the other. Nicely delivered to McGuinness, who can go. He's got some space. He's held up by Wood, but he's looking as to whether to go short or long. Wants the 1-2 with Weddle. Feeds it off to Impey. Trouble, though. Windhager cuts it off. And here go the Saints on the rebound. Sharman gave to Wood. He's got Higgins out the back. He didn't hit him. And he hit Frost.
Not a great hit or decision there from Mason Wood. He could see that Higgins was out the back, but he went for the low daisy cutter.
Harbick, another aggressive, dangerous kick. Warple flat-handed it to his advantage, and now to his disadvantage. He's taken the 720 by the steel trap.
Gee.
And the tackle machine doesn't get a reward this time. Jack Steele. Top 10 in the AFL for tackles.
It's his 9th today.
And the palm down. Wood faked. Found the gap. Pumps it. And Harbick gets back in defence. McGuinness. Had McDonald over the top. Turns it over to Wood. He wanted to keep it alive. Through the hands of Blank. On the field as the sub. Lays a splendid tackle, though. Kept it in the area. Gets it back. Hardwick. Butler somehow. Weddle extracts it. Dangerous. Windhager got a palm on it. Wood came up with a crumb. Tackled immediately by McGuinness. Umpire lets it roll. The Warpedo caught in full flight. Moore. The 1-2 was on offer for Newcombe, but he ignored that, and now he's going back to go forward to Impey. Back to Moore, but at least they're taking it on the Hawks. Newcombe inside, that works. Day could have given it. He gets 50.
Smart.
In-game 50, and this will bring him within range.
Gee, that was clever. This guy, he's going to be a superstar of the competition, Will Day. He understood that if he caused a little bit of panic in the charging defender and tried to get him to cut off that slip handball to put his teammate into space and just draw the contact, that is so clever. A great kick from Newcombe to stay aggressive, but he knew battle was coming.
Has some Hawthorn royalty in his blood. His grandfather Robert, Hawthorn premiership player back in 1971. Will Day in game 50 with a big moment here to cut it under 30 points. And he drills it. And they are well and truly alive, Hawthorn.
So there was great forward pressure from the Saints initially. Caminiti was part of that pack where he got tackled in a fair tackle. And he just gets crunched under that blank tackle on second looks. Just gets in a really awkward position, an old-fashioned chicken wing, but not on purpose. Just gets in an awkward position. And you're right, that was a great kick from Newcombe. If he had gone down the line, the Saints had extra numbers there. And Hawks are a much better team when Will Day has the football in his hands.
14 possessions down for Will Day. Third most for Hawthorn.
They've got to keep taking risks. It's a little bit kamikaze off the half-back line from the Hawks, inviting the pressure of the Saints, but when they get through, they have options.
Led by 6 goals last week and had it stolen from them in a heartbreaker. Can they come from 6 down in this? From the restart, Meek flies, palms it. Newcombe out the front, spears it just over the head. He went for more, and he put a little bit too much on it. But a ball-in's not a bad result. And the Hawk fans have found voice. Hawks kicking to the Hawthorn cheer squad end in this third term. Meek, Marshall. Saints know they've got a game on their hands now. Wingard! Brilliant moment from Wingard. Chad Jordan Wingard. They named him after the great Michael Jordan. Basketball fans, the family. And that was a pressure-packed moment when he delivered.
Well, it's just a subtle little block from Newcombe that caused the chaos. Sinclair and Steele trying to find their opponents. Only needs a yard. It's a great snap on the not preferred out of absolutely nothing.
He didn't do a lot wrong there, Jack Steele. He was right there. Chad was too brilliant. Look at him, he's just harassing, trying to get back to him, but that's that half a step, as you said. They've won 14 of the last 20 clearances, the Hawks. That's where they've got themselves back into this game. 19 points, and they're charging. Challenge back to the Saints, who have slowed down, have tried to take time off the clock. They've got to open up and go again.
From the restart, 4 goals in a row for Hawthorn. Marshall rips out of the air, thumps it forward. Sicily praying in front, wins himself a free against Sharman, and things are turning.
Oh, gee.
Is that a turnover? It is. Butler's free. All the momentum Hawthorn's way, and that gives it up.
If you're going to be a senior player and lead this football club, you've got to be better than that. I'm sorry, Frosty, you've been a great contributor, but you just got to understand the situation. Your team's charging.
Well, they got a frosty reception at quarter time. Hawthorn, after being demolished in the first quarter, that'll be a true frosty reception at 3/4 time if this suddenly turns around again in the Saints' favour. Dan Butler. And that's against the grain. He's got 3.
just sucked the air out of the stadium. From a Hawks perspective, you get Chad Wingard moments earlier. A moment of brilliance. Sicily gets that free kick, and rightly so. Have an opportunity to launch forward.
I never understand when defenders come forward, they come to a group after a goal's been kicked and they start high-fiving one another. I'm not sure I'll be high-fiving Frosty after that. I mean, that's stare him down, look him in the eyes and say, hey, mate, you owe us one. You absolutely owe this team now. The next 15 minutes of football in this third term have to be your absolute best.
Not sure Zane Cordy's giving him any sympathy either. Edge of the seat stuff, though. If you join us late, they were 43 points down, Hawthorn. They cut it back to 19. It's back to 25. Marshall.
Wow.
Umpires circling, crowd in full voice, and now we'll get a ball up.
Well, it was different to Meaky to get involved in that ruck contest. It nearly cleared the centre square.
Now he thumps it to Sinclair. Wide ball, Gresham, Bramble. Bramble had to take it, and it works. Sicily, Impey gave it to him. He changed his mind halfway through, but he'd already said, I do. Little roller, Butler hands it up. Hunter Clark, that'll count. Massive turnaround, 2 in a row in a minute for the Saints.
It's been a quarter of moments. Sam Mitchell asking what is going on. They've done so much right in the second quarter and now the start of the third, and just handed back St Kilda 2 simple goals. So when your captain calls for it, or one of your best ball users call for it, you're usually given. That's what Sicily did there. Then this hectic style of play in the front half from the Saints continues, and Hunter Clark reaps the rewards. Momentum now with the Saints. Can the Hawks respond?
Well, I guess that's the point. You get back to 19-point margin. Wingard's just lifted the spirits of the whole venue, and Sam Frost just has a moment of madness, and now they're on the back foot again, chasing 31 points.
Meek in the ruck. Caminiti against him this time. Caminiti did well until he didn't. Stolen back by Nash. Gets it to half forward. Tough ball. Webster stands under it. Went with a fist, but manhandled Bruce.
He is so good. His body work to get back to front position as that ball was in flight was the reason he drew the free kick in the end. That's the finishing position, but moments before that he had to fight to get front spot.
Been Mr. Accurate most of his career. Wow. Across the face.
Not his best kick because it just got to the line. Opportunity for the Hawks to keep this in their front half. Try and turn that momentum one more time.
Outside 5.
Battle. Wilkie.
Play on.
Stocker. Score in their favour, time in their favour, but they were very aggressive in the opening half, the Saints. This a little more thoughtful. Battle down the line. Sicily under it, and Weddle takes the mark at the back. Hawk fans thought he could have got a 50. You know he wants to run. Sends it back to Hardwick.
Hawks trying to go around once again this solid zone of the Saints today.
Nash. Also having a good year. Was on the Hawks' radar from Ireland as a 15-year-old and came to Australia 3 times for visits to make sure he wanted to come, but I bet he's glad he came now, putting together a really good career. Here's Connor Nash.
Well done,
Sicily. Chad Wingard leads up.
He led for 80 metres there.
Sits it out wide, and Day is away. Lewis is over the top. Can he get it to him? He's got a little nudge. He's got some smarts. And he's got some long-term prospects as one of the big gun forwards of the comp, Mitch Lewis.
Just thought their way through that really well. James Sicily, you don't often just stand in a play-on position.
would still have a huge say in this contest. Splits the middle and pulls one back.
It was interesting to see Sicily just standing there. No one was moving. That exhausted their leads. He was bereft of options. And one man, the experience of Chad Wingard, said, he needs me, and he led for 50 metres, 60 metres, a long sustained run that the Saints weren't prepared to cover, and that's it. They slipped the noose and they're out the back. Easy mark in the end for a contested marker of this man's stature in the game and a quality finish. But Sicily needed someone, and Chad said, I'll come with you. Great play, Chad Wingard.
2-goal-2 for Mitch Lewis now. As I mentioned, 4 goals last week. He's now got 33 for the season. Injury pre-season, had a little ACL problem, but it's game 13 now. And he can still be the difference maker in this. Back in the middle, Meek. Huge moment for him, owning the ruck in the absence of Reeves. Got it off the Warple. Caught by Crouch, holding the ball. Possession 22 coming up for Brad Crouch.
Play on.
The 26 possession game last week, averaging 27 this season. Does have a 43 possession gain to his name, so he can get big numbers. Sharman, inside kick. A little too wide for Marshall, but he scooped it up magnificently. Centering kick pretty good as well. Filippo got up. Couldn't quite bring it down. Windhager chases. Brockman got there. Little knock to his own advantage. Moore, Ward, and now they run. Not a lot of room to move. It floats on a couple. Lewis got there, good contest, gets it back. Warple, and it opens up now. Can they make something of it though? Day, little float kick is magnificent. And Bruce gets a chance again.
Wingard, Bruce and Lewis constantly on the move. They're getting their opportunities in the forward half now, and they're making the Hawks, as the Saints defenders, I should say, nervous, apprehensive.
Had some huge moments in his time, the 3-time premiership star. And that is massive. They're closer than they've been since halfway through the opening term. It's an 18-point margin.
And I like their bravery through the middle of the ground. They have to be. They have to continue to play this style of football. Yes, it's a risky kick, but it brings in the runners. The alternative option is you slow, allow St Kilda to get set. That's just great forward craft from a man that's done it so well for so long. Baines like he's going back towards goal. Comes straight back up at the kicker. And it's been an almighty kick for goal for a very long time.
That's 6 goals from the last 11 inside 50 entries to the Hawks. They've got them where they want them up there. Wingard on the move, Bruce busy. Lewis just commanding everything in the air. They just need supply now, and it's building.
A few Saints fans getting a little nervous now. 3 goals the margin. Steele caught by Newcombe.
Thank you. Rowan, Lloyd.
Bigger pack around this secondary ball up. 2 rucks dance the dance. Owens hasn't had a big say just yet. Hammers it, and it's taken by Sharman. That battle, Sharman-Sicily, has been worth the price of admission alone.
Driving here today, we thought the Sicily matchup would be its most pivotal. I must admit, though, I didn't expect Sharman to have the influence offensively like he has today. Really questioned and challenged Sicily, not only to stop the intercept marks, but to honestly defend him at the right time.
Deep breath. It's been a goal fest. Been fun to watch if you're in neutral. For his second, and settles the nerves again.
I just wonder if you take away the reference point of James Sicily, what it would do to the forward 50 planning of the Saints. They're just planning to defeat Sicily. Go where he goes. He'll take you to the footy and then just compete. They're not really out-reading him. They're not out-hunting him. They're just standing toe-to-toe and having a fraction better presence in the aerial contests. If you move him to a wing, if you move him on ball, does that shake the Saints forward 50 around a little bit?
Had the 7 disposals, Cooper Sharman.
Been good.
Poorly kicked the 2 goals.
Meek and Marshall side by side. Hunter Clark and Day side by side. Mitch Owens and Warple side by side for this ball up, and that one's been recalled.
That'll frustrate a few Hawthorn supporters. They felt like they had the exact same situation earlier and didn't get a recall.
Big Meeky said he is sure.
So it'll be tossed in the air now. Nash side by side with Steele, by the way. Also in the centre square for that ball up, and we'll get a tighter pack this time.
So Sicily has come up a little bit higher, so he's now going to play more of a genuine halfback flank.
Warple, clearance beast, shut down before he could get away with it this time.
Let's see how this plays out, Kingy. So he's playing more off the back of the stoppage, 20-odd metres. He gets a different matchup. He's got the youngster. Cooper Sharman's now playing a kick away. He's got Frost as his matchup.
And the flick down, big ball to win. Nash had a chance. Hunter Clark also a chance, but it's back where we were. Ball up.
So it's a completely different game with Sicily playing as a flanker rather than key post, because now he's going to swing into the offensive mode. Like this.
From the contest, Mitch Owens tried to hunt down McDonald. Couldn't get him. Yancey's back and got away. Bruce, the scoop, left it behind. Webster, Butler. Said a good afternoon at the office so far to Gresham. He holds it up. Hits the pause button. To Sharman, little floater over the top to Caminiti. Draws Sicily to the point. Did he get him?
Yeah.
Did he get him?
Yeah.
Oh, don't turn it over.
He's been reported again.
Yeah, he's had a couple of moments this year. So no 50, just the turnover. Oh,
No.
yeah. Okay.
It was head height.
Make your own mind up at home. It depends on who you barrack for, probably, as to which side of the fence you sit on with that.
Are you looking at the first or the second one?
Well, I actually thought the first initially was the elbow, but there was no elbow that made contact, so it was just the slap that came afterwards.
It's not the Hollywood shot that doesn't actually land, but it looks like it does on camera. Meek heads inside. Impey is off and running. Headslong. Moore's wrapped up. Couldn't get a run at it. Wilkie went and got it, as he so often does. Higgins in the spot on the wing. Gets and goes. Landed like a butterfly and might sting him like a bee. Can't though. Caminiti didn't take the mark. Hawthorn free.
That's the one that should be free kick and 50. He's disposed of the ball and then he's retarded in terms of his ability to get back into the game.
Day off and running. Filippo pursues, but a lot of venom in it. Now he accelerates, but Day got away. Crouch, solid as ever. Sits it on Gresham's head. Meek and Nash were both there. Nash got the double fister to get it away. Mitch Owens. Little dance step. To poise. Filippo. Caminiti both there. Neither could mark it. Sicily floats it wide. Impey caught into it nicely by McDonald, who gave him the protection. Over the top to Weddle. He can go if he wants to. Tries to milk a 50. Didn't get it. Impey. McDonald. Inside kick, aggressive kick. Ryan got a hand on it. Lewis crumbed it, gave it to Nash. Rolled beautifully in the tackle by Owens. Lewis gets it back. Pops it over the top. Bruce. Hang on a minute. Hang on. There's a quarter and 6 minutes left. He can cut it back again. I'll be getting some sustenance if you're watching this on the lounge at home. This threatens to go all the way to the wire. Has he got enough on it? You bet he has. And it's back to 3 goals again.
Have a look at every goal. I think Rowan Marshall's claiming that he touched it on the mark. So we'll wait for this to come back to the middle of the ground because it's not an official score review. Starting to get exposed out the back here, the Saints. They're working extremely hard through the middle of the ground, but when Hawks get through, They're left exposed with one-on-ones and plenty of space for the Hawks forward to work into. Luke Bruce, so crafty about working into those areas.
Got to make a change. Webster can't do the job on Bruce. He just gets out the back too quickly, too easily, and then it's a hook lead or a lateral lead at the end. Oh, he gets very close.
Hawks be hoping this ball gets bounced straight away. That's the end of the review.
They don't care where this one bounces, just bounce it in a hurry.
Then you're going to have a rebounce.
Great attempt by Marshall, though. He was in the game, head in the game there. Didn't give any space. He knew the hook kick was coming. From the flick, delightful through legs. Wingard got it from Warple. Here's Bruce. No need to tell Saints fans, this guy once kicked 29 goals in a row without a miss. Not in the one game, but...
Put it past him, though.
Play on.
From distance this time. Drop punt this time. It's across the face. Meek, there certainly hasn't been in this game. He's been aggressive. Wood, bounce it toward the line. Kept alive. Blank. He got it with instructions from Nash. And short pass. Aggressive attempt at a spoil, but Warple equal to it.
Gee, lucky not to be 50. He'd marked the ball and he wore the kitchen sink. Big moment here. They're charging the Hawks. Just been held at this 3-goal margin.
You feel like they'd be a threat if there was just 4 minutes left. There's a quarter and 4 minutes left. From the arc. Hasn't got the distance. Big fist of Stocker kills that.
About 15 metres.
It's a big 4 minutes. A goal either way. Players have short memories. Round 11, similar situation. Hawks kicked 5 goals, 2 in that last quarter to run away with a 10-point victory.
Wilkie heads wide. Harbeck's going to fly. Does. Big set of knuckles on it. Keeps it in the area. And a great contributor, Harbeck. Solid. Yet to get a Brownlow vote in his 143-game career. Chasing down Ben Stratton's record of 183 home and away games without one. But he's just good every week. Holding the ball.
I think you get to that point where you don't want one. Comes a badge of honour.
More.
Play on.
Hits a good spot with that kick. Ryan flew. Hit the deck. Wilkie crumbs. Gave to Burns. Gave to Windhager. Bang! Cut down. Wingard puts his hands to the air and says, what about it?
He's been awesome. He's worked great. I know the numbers don't always reflect this guy's impact on a game of footy, but look, that's fantastic.
Well, if anyone can from here, the Chad can. He elects not to. Goes to the pocket to Lewis. And he got one to the forehead.
Almost a harder pass than a harder shot at goal. Than it is a shot at goal.
But maybe he knows his limitations. Chad Wingard, Caminiti with the doctor. Might end up being a war of attrition. Both teams have already jumped with their sub. Bouncing ball. Good collect. Great tackle. Butler shut him down immediately. Just hang on. Just as McGuinness thought he was getting away, it was a free kick against, not turned over, so Butler will get it.
I wonder whether that should be 50. The play was called dead. Free
Dangerous
kick
chip.
paid.
And the man of steel stands his ground. Little captain's moment there with 2:20 left on the clock. To Wanganeen-Milera. Windhager. Little hush falls over the crowd. Sends it long. Another big fist this time from Frost. Thumps it straight to Newcomb. Off and running. Didn't like what he had forward. Goes back to Moore. To Wingard. See what the man with the deepest bag of tricks out there can manufacture here. Nothing there. Sharman cut it off, but they're playing an aggressive, attacking. Want to win this game brand of footy at the moment, the Hawks.
This is the one we spoke about before. It was clearly holding the ball. There was no advantage. Hunter Clark not trying to get away. Newcombe just dumps him to the ground to slow play down.
McDonald gets it away to the middle. Wood stood his ground.
Started blasting the ball a little bit from stoppage, the Hawks. They're the best team in the competition at getting the ball inside 50 when they come out of stoppage by hand.
So they remind them of that at three-quarter time. Impey's off and running. Out the back. Bruce, open goal. They're coming at him, so he holds it up.
He took off when that ball was kicked. Even if it wasn't going to be turned over, he knew that he had no play anyway. So he just charged forward. That's experience. And that's why you have these guys hang around for as long as you can. Show the youngsters the smarts that are involved in playing AFL footy.
Takes a deep breath. This to cut it back to a 2-kick margin. It's getting hot in here. Roof shot. Big last quarter to come. 39 seconds and a quarter to play. And it's 11 points when it was 43.
Well, Mason Woods just had a moment here. He had every player in front of him and chose to try and thread the eye of the needle. And Luke Bruce, he's had one hell of a quarter. 5 disposals, 3 goals straight.
Well, over to you, Ross Lyon. They've kicked 8 of the last 11 goals. What have you got? Playing slow hasn't worked. The first quarter they were electric. They were dynamite. Out of centre clearance, out of clearance. Even in general play, their ball movement was terrific. Now, they've tried to shut the game down, and they can't get rolling. They can't find a way forward. The Hawks are all over them.
39 seconds left. Hawthorn with all the momentum, knocked forward again. Sinclair against the grain, but the clearance machine, Warple, got it out of the middle. Flick out wide towards Newcombe. To McDonald. Chip kick inside. Wood dumps it back outside. How's the umpire going to read that if it rolls out? McDonald pleading his case. Insufficient intent.
Yeah, correct call.
Hawthorn with a roll of the dice left. Lewis got up. Big fist of Wood. Put that garbage out.
Oh.
Big pack around this ball in. Players about to start darting left, right and centre. Little palm down Wingard. Nearly had a sneaky chance at it. Lift door shut quickly there. And a Saint sandwich. Umpire to toss it in the air. Ross Lyon heads downstairs. A free kick is about the only way they can score from this. No ruck free. But the stage is set for a classic last quarter. The Saints spot in the 8 is up for grabs if they don't get the 4 points here. And they were 43 points up after an amazing 9-3 opening term. And Ross Lyon is stalking at the moment at three-quarter time, about to talk to his troops. 14-5-89, plays 12-6-78. Plenty to talk about from what's been an amazing round of footy. AFL 360 with Robbo and Jared and Gary Lyon leading the team with On the Couch. Always great to have your company on Mondays on Fox Footy.
Welcome back. Straight after this, we head to Perth as the Eagles try to break through for victory against North Melbourne, but the Kangaroos are hell-bent on giving Brett Bratton a win before Alistair Clarkson returns to the coach's box. That game will conclude what has been a spectacularly good round of football right here on Fox Footy, and we've got another close one on our hands here at Marvel Stadium. 11 points the margin at the final change. This is after the Saints' blistering 9-goal opening term. The Hawks have kicked 8 of the last 11 goals to get themselves right back into the contest. And Luke Bruce having a big say in proceedings. The veteran has kicked 5 goals and shown all of his skills and all of his smarts against the St Kilda backline. Nick Del Santo, what have you made of what the Hawks have been able to change up to get themselves right back into the thick of it.
I've loved their response after quarter time. Coach Sam Mitchell stormed out onto the field and gave some direct feedback to everybody, particularly his midfield, and they've got to work. 13 inside 50s that quarter for 6 goals too, and it's been through this ball movement. Not pretty, couple little mistakes, but when they get through, they find the overlap handball, then they get their one-on-ones in front of the football. St Kilda's looked exposed at times. That aggressive ball movement has allowed everybody, but in particular Luke Bruce, to go to work for the footy.
Oh, I think it's this matchup here that separates the game. Wilkie's been okay, 4 intercept marks, but Lewis is running around. He's opening up space for Wingard and Bruce to work into. But then when the moment's there, he's rearing up. He's taken 4 marks inside 50. He's kicked the 2-2. They're going to send the ball long and high, and he's going to be the man if the Hawks are to win this game.
It comes down to this, 1 quarter of footy. You feel like the Saints' final chances hinge on this 1 quarter. Have got Carlton, Richmond, Geelong and the Lions their last 4 games. The Saints, they need to get this 4 points in the book. Mitch Owens bangs it to half forward to start the last. Shut down tackle by Sicily, was cautious.
Well, Ross has put Mitch Owens as a rover. We know he's been the second ruck behind Rowan Marshall. He's now playing as a genuine midfielder.
Marshall, Meek, back to Marshall. Toward Cordy, stationed forward. Got a hand on it, knocked it to Butler. Hand up to Gresham. Impey, wing tackle, extracts a kick somehow. And Wood lays a tackle on McGuinness, holds it in the area.
Well, Newcombe had 8 disposals in that second quarter, a couple of clearances, a couple of inside 50s. He was enormous. Looks like Owens has got the roll on him in this last quarter.
Newcombe again fighting hard for this one with Crouch. Did he get him high? He did. Accidental, untidy. Crouch.
He's been good, Crouch. Involved in 10 of St Kilda's 19 scores. That's some sort of day.
It's a boo or 2. So the Hawthorn cheer squad end on this Hawthorn home game away from home this afternoon. Heads goalward. Thumb through. Even 2-goal margin early in the last.
So the Saints have only lost 1 game this year when leading at 3/4 time. Hawks have only won once when trailing. It was in round 11.
Oh, great mark, Newcombe. Got the climb of his life. Gets it back again, not normally a high riser. Held it in one hand, goes long. Good mark taken though by Battle. He's got the debutant against him, Brandon Ryan. Had the experience there.
Play on. New kick.
The half forward, the fist of Sharman this time. Knocks it down, Impey collects it half back. It was meant for Warple. Put him under the hammer. Higgins fed it out. Little spin, Butler, and the loop over the top. Gresham. Eat my dust. Straight to the goal line. They lead by 3.
Just weren't in sync. Warple and Impey. Impey was thinking he's going to charge. I'll just lob this over the top and he'll come forward. He was going backwards. And then you're in trouble. The Saints Smalls, no one hunts better than the Saints Smalls. And away they went. Good proactive run there from Gresham. He just saw the opportunity to get forward there. Left the pack with the outnumber and the ball likely to go to the Saints. He was gone. Big goal, big moment in this game. Going to make every post a win of the Saints.
We know the Hawks are going to keep coming. Their only come from behind victory at 3/4 time was against the Saints. They were down by 16 points in round 11. They overran the Saints with a 5-goal last quarter.
The biggest ever comeback in the history of the club was also against the Saints. Meek caught. Day.
Pull up yours, John.
And the Saints sandwich.
Go in, Lloyd.
Nothing to lose though, the Hawks. Throw everything at this. Moore hunted. Brought by Owens.
So Jimmy Webster remains the matchup on Luke Bruce.
Meek jumped to the front, got it down, though, to Crouch. Straight into Sicily's lap. Back to Crouch, to Owens. Wanganeen-Milera had to go and fetch it. Bounced unkindly for him. Backs out of a jam there. Just moonwalked his way out of trouble. Showed some poise. Crouch to half forward. Good puck, Caminiti. Looked out of his reach.
The umpire initially called play on, so he thought it was out of his reach as well.
Play on. Sits it up for the Leapers. Sharman will be that man. Brought it down, but not all the way home.
Gee.
Pull out the back. Rockman wobbles it away, but it'll be coming back, maybe with interest. Sinclair normally uses it well. This, no exception, Higgins.
So clever by Sinclair. Most AFL players will just bomb that to the top of the goal square. Play percentages. Not Jack Sinclair. His foot skills are far too good for that. He'll find a free target inside forward 50.
The line.
He kicked the sealer last week, and he gives them breathing room. He's having a great year.
It's not how many you kick, it's when you kick them often in this game. You can fatten the books when you're 5, 6, 7 goals in front and running away. But this game's been in the balance. It's been a genuine arm wrestle for the last half an hour. And Jack Higgins steps up with a big, big goal.
Gets a rest for his trouble. It's a little bit of a statement this afternoon by the Saints. Going to have to kick 100 goals plus to beat us.
So Steele's gone to Newcomb at centre bounces, so that's going to leave Crouch to Hunt. Crouch becomes really important at these clearances.
In that contest, Meek thumps it. Off the back of the square, Sinclair superb. Gives it to the captain, Steele. Spear pass to the square. Fist away, though. Did well there, Blank. Got it away from Caminiti to the line.
James Warple inside midfielder just saying, who's on Sinclair coming off the back of the square? It was Chad Wingard, who was only half a metre behind. It's as perfect as it comes.
And the ball in. Cordy does the ruck work, knocks it down to the danger zone. Warple fed it to Nash. Gave it to Blank. The sub has had plenty of game time to Sicily. Feeds it further on to Nash. A 1-2. Sicily gets it back. Weddle. See him changing his own mind. Heads down the line. Marshall landed on his own crumb. Big pack around it. Newcomb gets it. Caught in the jam, going nowhere. Meek, Marshall. Good tackle. Hurt it in the area. Could have been ball. No prior opportunity, according to the umpire. So Ward cuts some slack. Floater inside 50. Wanganeen-Milera, Webster, Wood. One-on-one on the wing. Wanganeen-Milera went and got it. Caught. Impey, little fumble, that's all it takes. He got it back from McKenzie, who still fights hard. Weddle had it, lost it. Filippo got it, in turn got. Wingard gave it to McDonald, turned on a dime, gave it to Frosty, sets it up for Ryan.
Wow. The Saints defenders just look at each other. Who's following the leading target? They were zoned behind the ball, but no one was prepared to run with Ryan. Geez, looked impressive, this guy.
Presents well. It's hard to miss him. 200 centimetres.
Well, if he turns sideways, you miss him. He is fairly thin, big sticks. Gets under that a little. Gets it to the line, and Wilkie pushes it through. Sinclair. Battle, Wilkie. Burns thinks about it. What's the plan here? Too early to be wasting some time. Find a chest will do. Hunter Clark, lace out. Just wrapped the ribbon around it and found him. Billings, Wanganeen-Milera. So Crouch screaming, gives it. Danced inside, shook Frosty out of his shoes and nailed it.
He's had a day. 29 disposals, 3 goals, 8 clearances. He's been everywhere. Continued to turn up. It's a pretty good step. It's a pretty good move.
No, he had that in the trick bag. Brad Crouch, he's been superb. He has been all year. It was that kick from Burns off the halfback flank that opened up the game through the middle. Been ultra consistent this year.
He's had some great games before, possession-wise. This equal career high for 3 goals. Got a 43 possession gain to his name and a few in that realm. But this 29 possession 3-goal game is up there if they get the chocolates, and at the moment they've punched it out to 29 points. Mitchell Owens holding free. Marshall found some answers, the Saints, early in this last.
Well, Kingy raised the point in the second and third quarter when they went slow, the Saints.
Wood.
It went against them. So they're a 29-point margin right now with plenty of time still left on the clock for the Hawks. How do they control the game from here?
The players leading left, right and centre. Puts it up towards Sharman territory. Big flyers go up. Off the back, Higgins. Doing what Higgins does most weeks when the Saints win.
They kick the ball high to the top of the goal square. They have great representation in the air. Again, you just see the jumpers, all of them. Caminiti, the main one, just prepared to just fly. It gives great location for Higgins on where to run, where to crumb. And the defenders really, there's no intercept marking there. It's spoil at best. And Higgins just says, well, this is where I do my work. Powerful finish now. Challenged and they've responded.
Hawks have had just 15 intercept marks for the game. Put that in perspective about that round 11 and James Sisslin, his dominance. It's been a well thought out plan and really well executed at this point for the Saints, particularly their forwards.
Well, they struggled to score for a month and a half. There's been a lot of talk about Ross Lyon, the defensive coach. This is their highest score for the year in the second incarnation of Ross Lyon as Saints coach. Brockman gets down low.
They'd only scored 100-plus points once for the season, way back in round 4. So Ross has delivered on the fans' requests. Open it up a bit.
Oh, you think he listened? Do you think
he's a listener?
He read the Twitter and the email feed, did you? Ross?
Sure, he's got Twitter.
Brockman, 2 goals last week in a 4-kick game. Can have a big impact with few possessions, and he can't make it his moment here.
And knowing Ross relatively well, I reckon he'd be disappointed conceding 80 points.
Wingard attacks the ball and Wilkie wraps him up. Didn't chop an arm, got enough share on the umpire said. Burns, tight ropes to boundary, got away from Lewis, heads out wide. Frost overcooked his attempt at it. Gresham.
Well, it's a good point, Del, because when the opposition have scored 75 plus, the Saints have won 2 of 9. So this is a healthy sign that you can get involved in a shootout on occasion.
Hunter Clark off the spill. Warple got his arms free. Over to Brockman. Still fighting this out, the Hawks. Frost feeds it on. The money kick, though. Too short for Wingard. He mopped up that little mess, gave it to Ward. Looks inside, not a lot on. Great smother. Hunter Clark hunted it down. Newcomb against the grain. Through the traffic. It was like Frogger. He went through the lot of them. Got it to Brockman. Handed it over the top. Ryan! Flying Ryan! Flies a boot at it.
I want to make sure what boot it came off last. Okay.
That's the slowest throw a boot at it I've seen, Dwayne. Who's kicked that?
Well, the different colour of the boots will give us half a chance.
You've got to go with the story. Oh. I think Ryan's got it.
I think he has.
He's needed every bit of that 200 centimetres.
Yep. Probably a size 17.
Hard to tell from here, Dwayne.
Is there enough to overturn that? Looks like it might have gone under the foot of Josh Battle.
The soft call's a point. So we have to have conclusive proof that that is the Ryan boot, which it looks like it is.
Review complete. Looking at these angles, there is insufficient evidence to say which boot the ball came off last.
The story was too good, Dwayne.
Wow. Umpire's call. So had he called that being off Ryan's boot, a goal would have stood. Wanganeen-Milera. Saints dodge a little bullet there. Heads out wide. That looks too wide for everyone bar those in row 3.
That's not his best of his 31 disposals today. His progress and development has been exceptional. Wanganeen-Milera.
Stand.
33 is the most he's ever had in a game, so heading toward that territory. McDonald. Lewis got there late. Marshall in the hole, standing tall. Wanganeen-Milera gets another possession his way. Hunting down that career best number. Heads out wide to Wood.
114 points. No Max King. Tim Membry played in the VFL. They're on their way back next week.
Huge matchup against the Blues.
Yeah, they've got a big month coming up to finish the season. In the meantime, Moore looks inside. Nicely delivered. McKenzie puts it out in front of Ryan. Or Ward. Or Ward or Ryan. Billings said, no, it's mine. Windhager, Battle, Burns taken to the boundary. Yeah, so the last month for the Saints, Carlton here, Richmond here, Geelong here, Lions at the Gabba. You probably wouldn't want to leave it till that Lions game at the Gabba. Just need to put this one in the book first. Newcomb caught, slung. Phillippo, Hunter Clark, Stocker. It's been great to have him back. Mitch Owens carves his way through them. Caminiti, Higgins, there's no one in the square. Needs to think his way through this. Didn't quite. Blank.
It's not his best kick. It's a pie floater off the boot.
Ward, Impey.
Outside 5. Player. You kick.
Inside kick, sits it on Warple's head for Webster. Wasn't used to being up that high. Gresham, the shake off. Billings. Still got the glove on that thumb that was broken.
Yep.
Burns. Be happy to be back in as well.
Stand.
Good time to be in the 22, not out of it. He's one of those that's been in and out. Steele.
Stand. Yep.
Brad Hill's the other key out from last week with that heavy knock.
Moving on. Play on.
Told to go.
End zone.
Sits it up. Caminiti and Owens both there. Owens got the bigger piece of it. Sicily gave it up. Danger. Newcomb turned into a jam. Not looked like he was turning out of one. McDonald down the spine. Free kick against Bruce. Been fantastic again, Sinclair. He was epic last week in that come from behind win. Find a little bit of ashtray change for his wrestle by the MRO, but you won't mind that. Oh, Crouch, get on the end of that. Almost set it up for Newcomb to get it and be tackled. Kind of situation you'd rather be the tackler with a second mouse and get yourself the cheese. Butler delivers. It's been inspiring from the Saints at the two ends of this contest, at the start and now at the finish.
Well, he's put in another solid performance. Ross Lyon will be really pleased with Burns coming up here and just getting a finger into this contest. Plays his wing role really well. Allows Dan Butler to run in for another score. 10 inside 50s this quarter for the Saints. 5 goals won. So they've owned the first and they've owned the last.
It's a big score. 120 points. They've only had 2 larger scores than that in the last 6 years. It's a big number. I didn't expect that to be the case coming in, but it's great to see. They've got gears and players returning, as we just spoken about.
You felt, given the commentary, like they were out of the 8 at the start of this round, but they weren't. They were 6th, and now they're going to build on their position with a bit of percentage. Establish their spot inside the 8. 4 games to go. Massive month for the Saints under their new coach Ross Lyon, and they're not done yet. Gresham, he hands it off. Could have gone alone, but he gave to Higgins. He would have been screaming in his ear, no doubt. I'm sure he would have been calling for it.
Also, Caminiti's in the goal square with 30 metres of space.
It's fun to come to the footy if you're a Saints fan at the moment. They're putting on a show. A couple of heart stoppers. Frost. Impey. And the Hawks have got some upside too. Playing aggressive attacking brand under Sam Mitchell. Never giving up on games. Ward back to Wingard. Dance step was nice on Marshall. Impey puts it up to the pocket. Filippo flies for the grab rather than killing it to the line with a spoil.
It's been a fun style of football today from the Saints. After the first 2 goals from the Hawks, great response for the remainder of the first quarter. Look like they're playing a fun brand of footy.
Yeah, the Hawks look like winning the game after quarter time. They're led by 37 at quarter time. St Kilda, they've pushed this back out to 40 as it stands right now. Billings collects, got down low, gave to Webster. He pumps it out of the area to the wing. Free kick. Caminiti. And no need to sing his praises any more than we had so far in this game, perhaps, and so far this season, but plays with a massive smile. He's aggressive. He gives them a target. And he says to Josh Weddle, can I have this dance? Heads toward Cordy, who also must be happy to be back in the St Kilda team with a month left to play, the ex-Dog.
It's not often you see a guy smile so much get reported.
Oh, you would have played with a few.
Got a switch.
Yeah. A few that work for us here at Fox Footy that are a bit like that. Yes. Cheerio to your 5-time day, 5-time night, wherever you're watching. And great to have your company on Fox Footy for what's been a very entertaining contest as Burns floats it over the top. He would have been calling for it, Higgins. He would have been calling for it.
You talked about Owens going on ball before, Del. He's had the 3 clearances since that move. You need to see some growth in these players. What can they become? What are they at the moment? But where are you getting to in 2 or 3 years' time? Another 40 games.
Well, he brings effort. He's an aerobic beast. He loves to compete.
With the body English, he tried to turn it inside to post. He ran to the left as soon as he'd kicked it, as if that was going to affect the trajectory of the ball. You got to love that, don't you?
We might have to see that again. No. That was entertaining.
He's not a physicist, obviously.
I think he was lucky there wasn't any players within 30 metres on his left.
Wide kick. Wood just keeps on keeping on. Mateus Filippo. And this kid's been a find. They knew from day one he arrived, they got a good one. Pick 10, 2022. Comes from good footy stock. His dad played with the Dogs. Grandfather, 272 AFL games. Puts it to the square. Flyers go up. Weddle off and running. Nash. They go back to go forward here. Hardwick gets it on the bounce. Sicily down the corridor to Wimpy. Hardwick, Sicily about to get hunted by Wood. Good pressure, turnover, battle. Sicily there for the fight though. Laid the smother. Impey puts his body, heart and soul on the line. The ricochet. Wood back again. Crunch. Hardwick Puts another couple of bruises on. Crouch again. Outside of the boot, another possession. Over the back. Almost pulled that down, Caminiti, on the second grab. Blank. Harwick. Meek. Result known, and yet it's still entertaining to watch. Both teams still taking it on and giving it everything. More fantastic smother. Feeds it wide to Wingard. Back in turn to McDonald. Wants the corridor, gets the corridor. Warple hands it up. McGuinness to a one-on-one. Bruce, Webster, Bruce. He's a gun. And he's got a career-high 6. That's the 5th time he's kicked 6. He's got 6 to his name right now.
You cannot get this matchup wrong, because if he's got an opponent that he enjoys, he will tow them around and put them into awkward positions all day, Luke Bruce. And as soon as you make a false step, just look at the body work here. Ball coming in, bang, just there. That buys the metre. That's all he needs. Just the first body wins. First body wins. He just protects the drop zone. He's been there 1,000 times before.
Yeah.
As that ball was coming in, he was setting Jimmy Webster up. Knew that it would bounce, be in position.
Sarah Jones downstairs.
Another injury concern for the Saints. Cooper Sharman on the sideline with ice on his leg. Obviously, you don't want injuries this late in the game and this late in the season.
So it's a shame that the only thing we need is the Cooper Sharman mark of the century.
It's been good too.
Yeah, nearly pulled down a couple. Marshall wobbles it away. Hunter Clark. Gresham over the head of Cordy. Frost. There's Bruce. Got a 7th in him. Day heads out wide. Crouch cuts it off. He's owned it again today. Caminiti, little nudge to the back. Umpires allowed it. Blank. Day. It'll be a loss in game 50. 2 tries a couple of tricks to Wingard.
Outside 5, play on.
Wants it back. Does Chad. Gets it back. But Caminiti knew exactly what was going on. Read their minds. All close to the boundary.
This game was separated, effectively won twice. It was won in the first term with a 9-goal opening from the Saints. 5 goals from centre bounces. Now, I've been digging and diving to see whether St Kilda have had a 5-goal centre bounce quarter in the history of tracking the numbers, and they haven't. It's a record for the Saints. It shows how powerful they were.
Wingard flicks it wide. Nash got under that a little, got under that a lot. Wilkie, the great Waller Wilkie again. Got a great footy mind. As the experienced Callum Wilkie comes from a long line of very intelligent scholars from Ross Trevor as well. His father and his grandfather on the Scholars Honour Board there. He's turned his mind to footy. He's making a great fist of it, Wilkie in defence. Little roller out towards Day. Harwick. Frost.
Stand, Jack. Play up.
Impey.
Play up. Me.
McDonald.
Stand in.
Butler tried the up fake, but it didn't fake him out. Impey seizes that opportunity to give to Wingard. Hands it off to McKenzie. Where's Bruce? Day. And he might get himself a consolation prize for game 50. Winds up, thumps it long. Going to be one of their big-time guns of the future is Will Day.
Well, he's all class. He can play in multiple positions. So the 22 disposals today.
He's averaged 26 disposals a game this year. He's been terrific. He's only hit the scoreboard a couple of times prior to this. That's another positive sign. Just the 2 goals prior to coming into this game today, so he bumps that up a fraction. But as you say, Dale, he plays everywhere. Wherever there's a problem, Sam Mitchell trusts him to go and sort it out.
Smooth mover as well. Makes it look extremely easy.
Only 22. 50 games deep. What a talent.
Put a good score on the board, Hawthorn, but In the end, it's going to be nowhere near as big as the Saints scored. 19-8. After a 9-goal, the 3 opening terms set it up. Nash gets under that. Ryan edged under it. Couldn't get near it for the jump. Stocker going the wrong way. And that kick likewise going the wrong way. Wingard. Bruce ducking and diving, hoping. Wingard ignored the first couple of leads. Now he sets it up for Ryan, and Wood picks it off.
This is the Mason Wood from the first 6 weeks. Playing that wing roll, rolling forward, rolling behind the football. And a great performance.
Heads out wide. Owens knocked it down in the Higgins direction. Couldn't pounce and go. It's been a fun watch. St Kilda fans almost start thinking about finals now. Big month, Carlton, Richmond, Geelong all here. And then the Lions at the Gabba. It's not locked in just yet, that final spot, but they've done the job today. 4 points, percentage boost. Gives it some air. Caminiti, big fist, dumps it away as the seconds tick down. Moore slipped, ran into Gresham, he gave it to Impey. Not only won the game today, St Kilda, won a massive amount of respect. So you don't think we can score, eh? 19 goals, 8-1 in 22 to 14-9, 93. A 29-point win for the Saints, who jumped to 5th. Zach Jones off early with the crutches. This is 4th game of the season, so tough to stomach for him. But they needed this win, the Saints, desperately, and they more than ticked the box as we head down to Sarah Jones.
Brad Crouch, an incredibly important win for the club on the back of a blistering opening term and a really solid last quarter. How did you see the game?
Yeah, we were really happy with our start. We haven't started well for the last 5 or 6 weeks, so we really built ourselves up and primed ourselves for a big start. You know, they showed a lot of fight in the second and third quarter, and it was a real arm wrestle for us. And you know, it wasn't easy for us for the rest of the game, but all in all, really happy to get 4 points. And while we're not at our best footy at the moment, we're still working towards it, and we're hoping to peak at the right end of the year.
19 goals is phenomenal scoring. A lot of criticism about this group's ability to attack. Do you think that silences the critic?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I don't know how many we kicked in that first quarter, might have been 8 or 9. We've really come out firing, and our goal kicking this year hasn't been great as well. It looks like we've kicked a little bit straighter, which is nice, but you know, we're working a lot on our ball movement during the week, and our education stuff that our coaching group gives us is really good. You know, it's like being in the classroom a little bit at different times, and I think it's really great because we do have a lot of young players, and we're starting to see some of it transferring to game day, which is great.
Your own performance, 3 goals, 12 score assists, which I think is a career high. How are you feeling at this late stage of the season? Yeah, really good. You know, like it's such a long season for us, and definitely feel the ups and downs a little bit. And for us, it's been a bit of an inconsistent year, and it's been really hard, a bit of a roller coaster for us. But you know, we're still in the hunt, and we're really excited about it. And we think our best footy's in front of us, so we're really excited. You talk about the classroom and the education Ross has given you. I've got no doubt one name would have been on the whiteboard, James Sicily. He carved you guys up back in round 11. And while you don't want to put too much focus into one player, I imagine he was one you really had to stop today. Yeah, he was. After last time, we were definitely going to do something about him because it was one of the best games we've ever seen. And I think Cooper Sharman went to him a lot tonight and tried to play a little bit from behind and get the ball to ground. He's still going to take a few. He's a very good player and he uses the ball very well. But I thought his influence wasn't as good as last time, which is, I think they would have won if it had been. Massive month ahead. You've got the Blues next. Looking forward to that one, and you can sneak a look at the ladder because it is going to be an interesting run home. Well done. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, and I think it's really exciting for everyone. It's going to be a great run home. Awesome. We'll let you join the boys. Well done. Thanks, yeah. Cheers.
Only been 2 highest scores for St Kilda in their last 100 games. They keep their spot in the 8 and they keep the Wolves at bay. A 29-point victory over the Hawks at Marvel. 29-point win to the Saints. Presentation of the Blue Ribbon Cup to Jack Steele, and both clubs having their best name. James Warple, best, and I think Brad Crouch was named best for the Saints as well, and one of their best performances for a long, long while, the Saints. 19 goals, 8-1-22. The Hawthorn 14-9-93. An entertaining contest, a 9-goal opening term for the Saints, one of their biggest scores of the year, one of their biggest scores of the last 100 games they've played, but the Hawks fought it out.
They did, and you'd expect that from the Hawks. It was a dreadful start. There's no other way to put it. They kicked the first 2 goals. We thought, OK, here it comes. The Hawks are going to continue that good form, I guess, that they even had from last week, even though they did lose. Then the Saints have flicked the switch. They completely controlled particularly the clearances, the contested possession, which leads into the inside 50s. And for one of the very few times this year, put a scoreboard pressure on right from that first quarter. Was significant, a 37-point lead at quarter time. It felt like the game was over, Dwayno, but it wasn't. It was a great response in quarter 2 and quarter 3 by the Hawks, but then ultimately the Saints run away with a convincing last quarter.
And you saw who the Hawks have in their last 4 games, and that's the ladder position for the Hawks, firstly, and they won't move up even if they win a few of their games in the run home. So 16th spot is pretty much theirs, so they can have that. All those people who are talking drafts and what position you're going to get pick-wise. But at the other end of the ladder, the Saints, 5th spot now. Big percentage boost, 106.5. Kicked a monster score, and that shake-up for the 8. Those teams just outside, Bulldogs, Geelong, Sydney, Adelaide winning, still consider themselves alive. The Gold Coast also winning, considering themselves alive, even though they're in 14th spot right now.
It's been such an unusual round of football. There's been some amazing results. It's almost turned into the Bradbury situation in regards to St Kilda. They can't find a way not to win. And they sit here right now in 5th position, which you must say, and Ross Lyon speaks about it quite frequently, a couple of weeks ago, they didn't deserve to be in the top 8. It wasn't that style of football. Now, off the back of this performance, was really, really impressive. And that's their next month. So if they are to get there, they're going to earn it.
Well, you could argue that they've got 3 teams below them coming up. Carlton below them, Richmond below them, Geelong below them, but it doesn't quite work like that, does it?
No, it doesn't, and not in this competition at the moment. There's Zach Jones, who was an early casualty, appears to be a knee injury. We'll wait to see how significant that is. Jake Gresham came on. He was the sub, so he got into the action early on. Lenny Hayes, the midfield coach, and Brendan Goddard, development coach, just having a conversation and consoling Zach Jones.
So what can the Saints deliver then, do you think? Given that opposition, how many games they still need to win to make the 8, and whether they could do the damage in the finals if they get there, given today's 19-goal afternoon where they seem to play almost a completely different brand of footy in a way, a more attacking brand, a confident brand from the outset, and they seem to have played for the last 6 or so weeks.
Well, they released the shackles, there's no doubt about that. There was a freedom in their ball movement. They came in with a specific plan, and you highlight the Sicily and just the minimising of his influence, because he was so dominant in that round 11 performance. So they came in with a specific plan, not to kick it towards him, to go around him. I thought Cooper Sharman was enormous today. Not only did he keep Sicily quieter, but he impacted himself. It was a great team performance, and it just felt like it was festering in a positive form. They were scoring, and then everyone got on board. The run was back. The ball use, they were going at 75% by foot for the majority of the game, and when you use the ball like that, Dwayne, they can score, and that's been their great challenge this year.
And in a brief order too, what do you think the public, some of the competition, don't respect them as much as they should be respected given their 5th?
Well, I mean, the reality of it is it didn't feel like their form deserved for them to be 5th, but it's the reality of the situation. You are who you are, and this group was fantastic today.
Go marching in! Oh, when the Saints go marching in! Oh, how I want to be a St Kilda! Oh, when the Saints go marching in! Oh, when the Saints! Oh, when the Saints go marching in! Go marching in! Oh, when the Saints go marching in! Oh, how I want to be a St Kilda! Oh, when the Saints go marching in!